Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
My microphone was not working. It has been quite a long time since we have casted, but good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Alpha Pro Series number 109. My name is Rushy, and you are in for a treat this evening. We have ourselves a show match between Alpha X's Vindicta and OSC Elite's Demi. This is a great show match brought to you by the fine folks at Alpha X and our major sponsors, GameStop, Sector 6, and 24-Hour Fitness. We have a lot that we're going to learn about these players as we go through the evening, so we're going to kind of kick back, relax, and enjoy. But let me tell you about our setup here. We are sitting with a best of 9 series, so we've got quite a few games on the horizon for you. First to 5 wins it all. Who knows, we might just get to see all 9 games this evening between our two players. We do have one player that's playing for the home team here, Alpha X. This is Vindicta. Vindicta coming off of a pretty strong run in WCS circuit events this year, most recently finding himself at WCS Fall in Montreal, which is kind of exciting. We've had a lot of Alpha X representation in this year's circuit events. But on the other side of things, we are seeing a lot from OSC Elite as well, and Demi is at the top of the pool as well. Oh, you can hear the sound. We are headed into game number 1. It's going to be on Thunderbird. And like I said, we're going to learn more and more about our opponents as we go through the evening. So kick back, relax, and enjoy our excellent matchup this evening between our two players. Oh, I'm excited. I haven't casted for quite some time. I'm excited to get back on the wagon here with you. So thank you so much for joining us this evening as we get set for our best of 9 this evening. Spawning in the top left of Thunderbird, Ellie. This is our blue Terran. Give it up for Vindicta. And spawning in the bottom right, our red Zerg player. Playing for OSC Elite. Give it up for Demi. Now, I thought I had my mouse scroll disabled. I didn't. Now I do. So, what do we know about these players? These players are pretty unknown to me, actually. We can see Vindicta's play a little more on display as we watch through the WCS circuit events, and Vindicta does like smack. He does like to take things to the long game because he's a good, strong player. Knows how to use his units and control his armies really well, and we saw a lot of that on display at WCS Fall. Demi, however, I'm not entirely sure. I think we're going to kind of learn together what our Indian Zerg has in store for Vindicta today. But opting to open for a hatch gas pool opener here. So nothing too spooky on the horizon for either player. So, in that interest, going to take this opportunity now to just briefly shout out one of our major sponsors here in 24-Hour Fitness. You have probably heard 24-Hour Fitness mentioned a time or two, and that they have studio classes at many of their locations, but have you ever heard about what you can do in those classes? They have strength, cardio, and yoga classes. There are cycling, pool, and Pilates. They even have dance and martial arts. The programs that are available vary by location, so check out your local 24-Hour Fitness and see what is on their schedule that will fit into yours. We want to thank 24-Hour Fitness for sponsoring this tournament as we see Vindicta going across the map here with his first scouting Reaper. Really nothing too scary coming out on the side of the map for Demi, as Demi is just going into Zergling speed at a normal timing, Lings that are going to help kind of push this Reaper back. Reaper does take a little bit of damage here, maybe a little bit more than he intended to have it done. But Demi with the really good control, sending the damaged Zerglings to the back. The Queen will finally pop and push that Reaper away. But what's interesting is that we don't have any third base location here just yet. So, interesting to see that we have... I think that's just a little bit too loud. Thanks again for being patient with me as we get everything kind of settled into place here. Then we need the music just a little bit louder. Okay, I feel a little better. Thanks for helping me kind of finagle in the audio. If you feel like something's really out of balance, please don't be afraid. Speak up in the chat. Let me know so I can make this a more enjoyable experience for you, as we do have a third on the way for Vindicta. He's kind of building it off into the corner out of sight, but it is possible that the vision has already been scouted, yeah, and he has seen that already. So Demi knows that there's a third base coming, but here comes a little bit of pressure here with the Hellions. Hellion opening, going to try and do a little bit of scouting, a little bit of harassment on the natural mineral lines. But the Queens are in a great position, and they're just going to kind of zone things off here, make it difficult for Vindicta to squeeze in and grab any scouting information. And it's actually been a while since Vindicta's had any information to go off of. Both players just kind of working their way up. Vindicta actually has a really strong SCV count here, so I kind of feeling pretty good about where he is at this point in the game. Anytime you see a Terran even on supply with a Zerg player, it's usually a pretty good sign for the Terran. Hellions are going to poke forward here and try and see if they can dash around the Queens, who have kind of wandered off a creep here. This is a pretty bold move. The Reaper's going to try and take care of business and do his own little scout, but he does see that there are no drones on third base because it is a large subset of roaches coming out, and I actually love that skin, those giant, giant claws here. Viking is out looking for some overlords to kill, and it is going to find one, but what it's not going to find is this push coming across the map. I love the use of the drone to clear out the space in the middle here for these roaches to move forward, and there is not a substantial wall at the front here. Vindicta is really not that prepared for this. He only has Hellions. He doesn't have any tanks out yet, and only now is he now getting a Reaper on this. Oh, this is just going to be a really rough timing here. But a lot of SCVs are going to fall. SCVs do get pulled off the line and they do run away, but there's just nothing that is going to be able to stop this. 14 more Lings on the way in production tab, and what does Vindicta have to speak for it? He has a handful of Marines, and that's it. First bunker in the wall does go down. He does have a nice little tight choke, so he can't just immediately push up. But both of the engineering bays are exposed, so +1 is actually going to get canceled here. That's a great denial. The second E-bay is going to go down. Both bases have been pulled. Actually, this one has been kind of left alone. So that can free farm for now. It's about another 10 seconds before that tank is going to pop out here, but the bio is going to come down the ramp here. Vindicta thinks that this is the time that he needs to strike. There's just way too many Zerglings here. But every second counts here as one tank does pop out on the top. of the ramp, and this is going to siege up. However, if Demi can get some vision, he will be able to stop that, and it's actually going to push him all the way back? No. No, Demi. Demi, you had Vindicta on the ropes. You had him cut off here. Half of Vindicta's worker army is out on the map there. Finally getting pulled back in as the base does get brought back to the natural expansion. But Demi just goes home. Demi. +1/+1 melee and carapace is on the way for Demi here, as Vindicta is going to take some of those Marines and send them into a medevac here. The medevac's going to do just a little bit of drop harass, but it is just going to be on the outskirts here. So these queens will be affected. There will probably be a scan that goes down for the queens as well. Here comes the scan, right? Boom. Nope, just gonna pick up and leave. But he is gonna try and drop into the main base. I think Demi is letting Vindicta have way too much here. Scan goes down in the main so Vindicta can see that not a whole lot is happening, but he does see that there's a spire on the way. There's already a starport with a reactor here, so Vikings could be an easy switch, but I think he's just going to continue doubling down on Marines at this point. Both engineering bays are currently in production, so that will be coming up here soon. And Demi really isn't that much stronger than he was about a minute and a half ago. The supply is pretty close. I think he was about at 110 and now at 136, and most of that is in workers. So all things said and done, I mean, Demi's in a great place economically. He's in a great place going into the mid and late game, but I feel like he's let Vindicta kind of claw his way back into this game. And if there's anything I know as a Zerg player, if you let a Terran player have too much space, he will take advantage of it all. So we are just continuing to move on in this game here. 2-2 is on the way for our Zerg player. Continuing to get more and more factories here and an armory, so we're probably going to start seeing some Widow Mine production here as the reactor factory is going to start cranking those out. I like that. That's going to be a great draw for the Mutas, as they will be a really strong counter here. And actually, two are going to get into the mix right there. Really strong hit, but they do get pulled right into the worker line, so a little bit of splash damage as a friendly fire, but so much damage dealt onto those Mutas, and you immediately have to back off. An infestation pit is going down for Demi as well. He is not going to mess around. He is going to need to get into that late game tech, so he knows what he's got to do. He's got to spend some time getting ready for this. Vindicta very far behind on the upgrades, as 1-1 is just now finishing up. So it is kind of an interesting set here. Demi is still in a great spot. He is maxed out, working on saturating what is now his 5th base. And he is going to just try and take, I mean, he could just take this and go. I mean, he's got so many lings here. I think he could take about half of those and just more banelings, because there really isn't a whole lot of splash damage. There is the one tank, but I don't think he's ever built. He never built any past the one tank. So now the game becomes making sure that he doesn't fall victim to the Widow Mines, which the Widow Mines are going to be more focused on the Mutas as it sits right now. Hive is on the way, as we also get Overlord speed. Huh. Usually that happens a lot earlier in the game, ever since the patch change that made that work differently. So won't complain there, though. Bringing the upgrade cost down from 100 to 75. But I gotta say, take a look here. I mean, this is a master class on creep spread. Demi has control of most of the map here, and Vindicta is only now feeling comfortable to step out onto the map as he tries to secure his 4th base. I really would love to see these Mutas kind of jump in and start getting to work, but the Marines and the 3 sensor towers here, or excuse me, anti-air towers, are going to have something to say about that. Finally now Vindicta deciding he's going to do something about this creep spread here and jumps onto the front side of the creep, but doesn't get a whole lot done. I mean, we're at the point where Demi's just kind of been allowed to run completely free. Rocks are going to get it broken and more scans going down, so the creep is going to continue to get attacked here. And Demi's just going to let Vindicta do it. He is not quite ready to engage. In fact, I think he's having misgivings about where he wants to engage. +3 melee and carapace is also on the way. This is not... Oh, it is down. I never saw him take those minerals. So this is going to be a great run by. These lings are going to come on, pouring on in. And Vindicta's caught out on the map. He's going to have to do something and respond to this. Ooh, I love the use of the Widow Mines there to protect, but they just never were able to connect with what they needed to. So Vindicta's going to come across here on the fifth side of Demi and jump on this base. This base is going to go down, but he does have a sizable force here to deal with. Lots of banelings and lots of pushback. So few workers go down, but Vindicta does a good job of holding this out. Ooh, a lot of good baneling hits, but not on a large subset of the army. So I don't think the trade out was worth what he paid for it. So, well, okay, got a drone. Just deciding he's going to work here. And Vindicta's now going to do what Terran players do best. He's going to split the map in two and force Demi to play both sides of the coin. But Demi does a nice job, splits everything off here, but he's low on banelings. He's got some pulled up here now, and those are going to be able to come forward here. A Thor is going to help in the mix there. He's got to make sure that the banelings don't connect there. And now the mutas are going to be able to push that away. So that Thor is damaged enough. He can't afford to lose it. Make sure that we don't scoop that up. The Thor does finally go down. Oh, Demi just needs to be really brave with these banelings. He's going to be able to clean all of this up. And now the mutas are going to be able to come in and sweep this all away. Couple of Widow Mines still in the mix here for Vindicta. It's going to be an ultra switch for Demi. Demi seeing that there really hasn't been a whole lot of commitment to the heavy side of things for Vindicta. So Vindicta doesn't have a lot of tanks. He's now going into Liberators, and Liberators are going to be a good counter here. Concussive shells also on the way, so Vindicta's going to make the right switch, but I feel like Demi's just going to have too much. He's going to be able to just roll over his opponent. Mutas are going to come in and scout that the third base really is still kind of in shambles. Really quick pickoffs on the missile turret, and he's going to be able to attack Mineral Line. 4 workers go down, and meanwhile, this is the main threat. Mutas pull the Liberators away, and that's going to allow the Ultralists to play. A couple of good shots on the Widow Mines here, and the Liberators are allowed to set up. Oh, that's going to be a lot of damage on these Ultras, and the Ultras are going to be forced to run back. They are going to get onto creep and be able to run back to safety, but there isn't a whole lot of Queen economy right now to protect that. Liberator does pull workers off of that Mineral Line, so that's going to be allowed to go back now that the Queen has had a chance to tag it a few times, but there's no Queen on the low ground. So this Liberator that is 2 hits away from death is going to be allowed to work. 3-3 on the way. In fact, +3 weapons is done. It'll be a little while before we see +3 shields for our Terran friend. And Vindicta is just being allowed to run across the map. And this is kind of what I worried about for Demi. Demi is just really respecting his opponent. I think he had a couple of moments where he could have just bulldozed on in, but a couple of moments of indecisiveness has given Vindicta a very strong foothold in this game. Marauders are going to continue wreaking havoc on these Ultras as the Ultralists are really weak to their attack. And Demi's going to push forward here. The Liberators are going to be allowed to work. Bio Stutter steps back into the protection. And Demi gets a really good trade. The mutas are going to clean up everything in the air, and Vindicta is kind of left wanting here. This is what I'm talking about. Demi, you have the power, my friend. Take advantage of it. 5 more ultimates on the way, along with a big swath of lings. 5 more liberators. Vindicta knows that liberators are going to be his saving grace, but it's going to be more defensive than offensive at this point. Demi just has a little bit too much to counter the liberator timing. But Vindicta has got a really good source of bank. He's got a lot of mules. So our blue Terran is not out of it just yet. Liberator is going to see this Ling run by here, and he almost needs to just post up right here with a couple of tanks just to protect against these Lings. There's a bunker. The bunker's going to be nice. It's going to buy a little bit of time, but ultimately it's not going to be enough. Main force of the army here down across the center of the map. And both players, again, just playing very cautiously. But take a look. Demi sitting with 4,000 minerals in the bank. 1,600 gas. Vindicta constantly spending down, losing 5 workers here. 69 to 63, so Vindicta does have the worker advantage. He's just not able to shore things up on the army side. Liberators are going to siege up from the rear to protect his flank, but I just don't think that it's going to really matter. I think that the Ultras here are going to be strong enough on their own. Widowmines are going to get shots off and get some really good splash. A couple of those Ultras are incredibly low, but meanwhile back at home, the Mutalisks are being allowed to kind of wreak havoc here. I think this Liberator, once it does finally connect, is going to be able to help assist back at home. But Broodlords are going to make this really, really complicated for Vindicta over on Demi's side of the map. It's a really good, parasitic bombs going off on to the Liberators, really soften them up. 13 workers are continuing to go down. Oh, it's just unfortunate. I think these mutas went uncontested just a little bit too long. And I mean, looking at our supply, we're sitting pretty even. It's just a push back and forth, and I feel like this is the moment. Demi, this is your moment. This is your fight song. Take back your rights. Move across the map. Ah! He's choosing to play patiently. I respect that. A couple more Broodlords are being morphed in as Vindicta moves to take his now 6th base up on the top side. A couple of Lings are going to do their best to prevent that from happening. More and more Liberators are being added into the mix as well. You know what? Screw these particular rocks. We got them, boys. Dropship was going to cause a little bit of problem for Demi, but he does see it and picks it off, and that's going to be one less thing he has to worry about as he starts to set up here at the 6th base location that hasn't morphed into a planetary quite yet. There are a sizable number of ghosts here to help deal with the Broodlords, but I don't know quite how many there are. I keep clicking Marauders. There's 4. So a couple more will make the difference here as we finally have a planetary fortress here. Broodlords are going to be able to go rather uncontested as long as the ghost count stays rather low. But it's just going to be a game of what can you make that's going to make the ghosts ineffective. And I think it's going to be a swap back into Banelings, but that planetary fortress does finally fall. Vindicta does have some limited mining happening here. So right now he's mining on 1, 2, 3 bases. So he's actually okay, but one of the bases actually has creep, which is right out in front. 5 drones do go down on Demi's side of the map as there is just a large number of harassment pieces happening across the map. Demi does a nice job of deflecting that. And once again, we seesaw back and forth. Yeah, I would just love to see just all of those. Just all of them. Just pulled into tons of banelings. Because right now, I mean, if we take a look at Demi's force, there really isn't a whole lot of splash here. Sure, the Marines are nice and they do a good job of target firing banelings, but if you get to a point where there's just enough and there's just nothing you can do about it. Ling Runby is going to shut down the 6th base once again, but the real damage is coming down on the bottom left side of the map. The repair doesn't go down quite fast enough, and it is going to be allowed to clean up that. 12 workers go down as well between the two outer lying bases. And Demi is doing what he needs to. He's keeping Vindicta on the back foot, not allowing him to get an economic standpoint in this game at the 23-minute mark. Meanwhile, Demi is continuing. 43 drones. Oh my gosh, look at this go. If only he could build another base, or another base, or another base. But unfortunately, technology is just not there yet. 16 more workers have gone down for Vindicta, and it's starting to become a war of attrition here. Oh, bunch more workers piled up. We might see this climb into 20 here. Ooh, big subset of links. Oh, do find the transferring workers here, and they are just kind of left out. 23 workers gone down. Yep, and now we're seeing Demi do what I think he should have done all along. He should have just said, hey, you know, I have a lot of units, and I don't think Vindicta has as many to stop me. 33 workers now. The onslaught of worker kills continues as Ling Runbys continue to cause havoc. The 6th base location is now allowed to finish. Oh, I love this. Burrow at the natural. It's going to force the pull away of all of these units. And now Demi's starting to get a lot of bang for his buck. He's tossing away really cheap, inexpensive Zerglings. Meanwhile, back at home, he's been working on the high-tech units. Lots of Broodlords, lots of Corruptors. He's got to be careful that he has something to deal with these ghosts, though. The ghosts are in large enough supply. 16. That is more than enough to start nuke harassment and to start just killing off everything that it sees. So the sounder base for Demi is going to go down. And the slow push onslaught begins for both of our players. More Ling harassment as it goes along. Drones were pulled early, so they were allowed to survive, which is great for Demi. He doesn't lose the worker count. He's allowed to continue mining. But now the nukes begin. Now the real game begins. 25-minute mark, and we've seen our first nuke. Fascinating. Production's actually kind of stalled on both sides right now. We're seeing a nuke being produced every now and again for our Terran players. Now the Bioball is just going to swoop around the map. Finally now taking care of the large amount of creep out on the map. Using some scans to clean this up and just kind of scout where the main army is. And again, Demi playing incredibly defensive, incredibly passive. I think there are so many opportunities that he can get in front of Vindicta as long as he finds a good engagement. Some good parasitic bombs are going to help out here. Oh, you got to commit, my friend. Just commit one time. One time, commit with those Banelings. Banelings do swoop on in, and he gets a lot of the Marines. Does not clean up the Ghost. Is going to need just a little bit more than that to handle the bulk of the army here for Vindicta. But Vindicta's numbers continue to plummet. I think he might have done it. He might have had just enough here. The snipes are not fast enough. Here come the Zerglings. Zerglings are going to make sure that this gets cleaned up. And Vindicta finally tossing everything in. The Ghosts are just not enough. And what does he have back at home? He's building a Reaper. You know, the 27-minute Reaper is exactly what this game is called for. But he did throw away a lot of resources and just does not have a bank to deal with this. So now the Ling Flood is incoming. I think he's just going to go. I mean, if he's smart, I think he just pukes on that base. The Lings are going to do their best to try and clear up the Zerglings. Or the Zerglings are going to do their best to clean up the SCVs. There's a little bit of army here. Again, tons of respect for his opponent. Playing super safe. 28 drones have gone down, though. This Ghost is doing work. 41 kills for the Dominion. Don't even know what to say at this point. So many opportunities where I think Demi should just push in and roll him over. Paying a lot of respect, so again, gotta give him mad props to that. More nukes on the way for our Terran opponent. And Demi's got some Zerglings. Oh my gosh. He's got the harassment pieces. I think he just needs to use them. I bet he's forgotten about them. I mean, I would forget about those. A Zergling that deep in the base. I can't say that I would remember that. Zerglings are going to see that Vindicta is trying his hardest to take this forward base that has the high yield Vespine. And these Zerglings are going to deal some really, really good damage onto these SCVs. 25 workers now. He's just kind of running low. I don't know why he lifted that orbital command. I just don't quite know. Meanwhile, Demi, 152 supply, sitting nice and pretty. I mean, like, here's the thing. Take all of these. Banelings. Just take them. He's got no splash. I love it. I love it and I hate it all at the same time. Just go and kill him. Vindicta realizing, hey, I should have some splash. Building some widow mines. Okay. More corruptors on the way, and we just kind of see ourselves stalled at this end game scenario. There's money on the line, so I can see why these players are wanting to just play real tentatively, not overextend themselves, not work too hard. And it's going to come down to some good scouting, some good push initiative. But Demi's up 40 supply. I feel like if Demi knew that, maybe they just wanted to take advantage of these rich Vespine geysers. That's possible. So we're going to see gas production spike here in just a moment for Demi, who already has 1,000 gas in the bank. And we're just seeing more and more happening across the map. Another Ghost Academy comes down, so the nuke production is going to be doubled here. More ghosts will be available as well, although having more Ghost Academies doesn't affect ghost production, just nuke production. All right, we got some Banelings coming in. Does Vindicta see it? No, he doesn't. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Now that's what I'm talking about. 18 workers goes down for that Baneling run by, and that's exactly what Demi needs to continue doing. Now, all of these Zerglings, all of them, just hold the Baneling. Just hold it. So I think if you let Vindicta get too many ghosts in this game, you give him a chance to claw back in. He's up 55 supply. Another nuke's gonna come down here on the south side. Where is that ghost? That ghost just kind of chilling right there. He's expecting it to be off to the north. That is gonna connect with a bunch of drones. Only 5 go down. I'm actually kind of surprised. I was expecting more. Large amount of corruptors, large amount of vipers. I guess only 3, but still, it's a good, nice number. And a Nidus worm. is going to come down. Thank you. Demi, my man. Demi has said, this game has gone on long enough. Lings are going to come pouring out here, and those are going to deal pretty decent damage to those Marines, but the Marines get a really nice Sim City. And not as much damage as I was hoping for. But I would love to see more and more of those Nidus Worms going down. Oh, he found it. Oh, almost the play of the game. But instead, we're going to see another Baneling run by come in here for Demi. One of the Ghost Academies is actually this far forward making nukes. I'm actually really impressed. Those Widow Mines are going to stop these Banelings, though. Yep. It was a good try, but I think he's going to have to be a little bit craftier than that. Ghost. He's going to have to pull. No. No, don't do this to yourself, my friend. It's going to be a lot of workers. 18 workers. Yeah. Yeah, Demi, I don't know what you're waiting for, my friend. I mean, if you're waiting for an invitation, I, Vindicta of House Alpha X, do humbly request the invitation of one OSC Elite Demi to come across the map and cause havoc. There, I did it in my nicest old English. I don't know if I could have made it more clear, but we were just continuing down this path. So Vindicta's taking advantage of it, and I'd absolutely expect him to. Using Ghosts as a comeback mechanic to get himself back into this game. Nidus Worm is nice. I think another one needs to be right here. Another one needs to go right there. A couple Ultralists are going to force workers off of this mining set. Vindicta's got one other base here with high gas, which is actually really cool. I do like that. There. Yes! Yes, it's happening! Unfortunately, he has seen it. It's a little bit too late. Vindicta's just going to continue harassing. More and more ghosts. More and more dead drones. Oh, that's going to land. That is going to land. It's going to take the ghost out with it as well. This base does get protected here, as Vindicta's just continuing again to claw his way into the game. Oh, Demi. I don't know what more to say for you. Vindicta's going to be able to pick up this base while continuing to cause more and more harassment. I don't know where that ghost is. Ah, that ghost is in the gas bubble. So this is just going to pick up a creep tumor. Maybe two. Just one. Another nuke on the way. This is dangerously close to the army. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I don't know that I've ever seen that happen before. New information. If you pull a ghost with a Viper, it cancels the nuke? I can't say I have ever seen that in my life. I love it. The more you know. And keep in mind, folks, this is a game one of a best of 9 brought to you by Alpha X. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Oh my gosh. Never would have thought game one was going to take 36 minutes. Blinding clouds do prevent a little bit of damage, but unfortunately the hatchery is allowed to fall. Demi, who has enough money to make this army twice over, is continuing to let 16 Marines and Marauders just kind of trounce all over his base. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure how to help. So there's going to be just a few more creep tumors that are allowed to die, but that's another base. Not a mining base, but that's another base that's gone down. More nukes on the way. Oh, easy. Easy there, Windows. This is no time for an update. 22 workers have gone down. Demi, 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 my friend. Demi, look at your army. Take it and win. Ah! Is this a game of manipulation? I don't know, Philip. Oh no! No, don't do this to me! I don't even know what to say. But if Vindicta doesn't capitalize on this right now, I think we're all getting pranked. Unbelievable. Yeah, these liberators are just gonna come in and just start, yeah, dealing all sorts of crazy damage here. Demi, with the Bank of a God, has rebuilt, but I'm wondering if it's gonna be too little, too late. Dorito Cannon does go down, and the anti-armor missile is going to just allow Vindicta to shred through Demi's army. So many of these Broodlords are gonna go down if they don't all go down. And Vindicta, my friends, has stayed in this game. The power of perseverance. It's no longer the power of Protoss, the power of perseverance. And Demi right now is currently snatching defeat from the jaws of victory as 2 more bases do go down. He's got 1 mining base here, but you know, a Marauder could easily take care of that. GG. Wow. 40 minutes of Zerg dominance leading up to that. Chat, I'm stunned. Chat, I don't know how to feel about that. I'm hurt. I'm damaged. I'm just confused. And I don't know where to go from here. Oh. Whew. Folks, we're going to take a short break while we get set up for game number 2. I need just like a moment. We're going to be right back. We'll do some shout outs. It'll be so good. It'll be great. But don't go anywhere. It's the Alpha Pro Series number 107 between Vindicta and Demi. That was game 1 out of 9. We got some fun ahead of us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back. We are getting set up for game number 2 here. It's going to be on Ephemeron. So we're going to get that going here in just a minute. Do want to take an opportunity to shout out one of our major sponsors here at Alpha X, GameStop. GameStop is here to bring more power to your game. GameStop is working with top pros from Complexity, Team Envy, and Optic Gaming to bring you the Pro Training Series. These are monthly videos with pro-level insights and expertise in Fortnite, Overwatch, Call of Duty, PUBG, and more. on the way. Check them out today at GameStop.com/esports. And we want to thank GameStop for helping sponsor events like this here at Alpha X as we get set up for game number 2 in our best of 9. You have to take a big deep breath after that one. Because if we get 9 games at 40 minutes, I'm gonna need to make coffee. Because it's currently 9:47. So, phew. All right, so Ephemeron, headed to game number 2. Here's what I want to see. I want to see Demi be way more aggressive. Way more aggressive. Holy cow. And Ephemeron is a little bit smaller map, so I think it is entirely possible to see that come to fruition. So we're gonna get hopped in here on Ephemeron, spawning in the top left-hand corner, our red Zerg player. Give it up, everyone, for OSC Elites, Demi. And spawning in the bottom right, our blue Terran player playing for Alpha X, the hometown hero. Give it up for Vindicta. Now, please, I don't want it to be misconstrued. But Rashi, you're an Alpha X streamer. What? I thought you'd root for Vindicta. I do, and I will. Absolutely want Vindicta to be successful, but I do also want to see his opponent apply the appropriate pressure when necessary. Very important. So we're gonna open up in a similar fashion here, but again, Ephemeron, not quite as large of a map. So, does have a nice third base with a couple of easy attack points for your opponent. Not a super long rush distance. And I think that we're gonna see just a little bit more in this match. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. See a lot of you chatting away, supporting your favorite players. Let me know, who are you here supporting tonight? Are you here cheering on Demi? Or are you cheering on for Alpha X's Vindicta? Let us know in the chat who you're cheering for tonight, as we find ourselves in a pretty standard opener. Nothing too crazy at this point, but you know what? We were in the same boat just last game, in game number 1. And we got ourselves kind of a silly game. Maybe the silly game to end all silly games. Reaper's going to come across the map and find that this has been a pretty standard opener so far. A couple of Lings are going to be able to make it down here to deflect. And it's going to be same old from both of our players, which is fine. I'm okay with same old. Second gas going down for Vindicta. So we're not going to see anything too terribly aggressive here, but we do have a factory. I expect to see Hellions. I expect to see pretty standard affair. But Demi once again opting to take a little bit later third base. He's going to have to walk the queen all the way out there. And this far away, the grenade of the century. That is going to finally force everything away. Third base is going to be able to go down for Demi just a little bit later than maybe normal, but, you know, it's okay. One on the way for Vindicta, as he is once again doing a great job of keeping toe-to-toe with Demi on his economy. We are going to see the starport go into the tech lab, and another tech lab coming down for our barracks. So we are going to see what appears to be Cloak Banshee. Reaper and Hellions are going to get a little bit of damage done on the opposite side of the map, just harassing the third a little bit. Nothing that's going to cause problems for our red Zerg player. Banelings are going to come up here, and again, kind of going into a standard affair. Neither are players wanting to get too incredibly greedy. I'm wondering if this is going to get canceled. The Viking coming out first, and there not being any commitment into the Banshee. Well, the Banshee went up. I'm curious to see if it's actually going to complete. Yeah, I mean, he's got over 50%. I think it'd be silly at this point to not complete it. So we are going to see Cloak Banshee come out here by our blue Terran. Hellions are going to try and continue poking in, but lots of good creep spread once again by our red Zerg. I mean, this is getting pretty far out towards the center. He's going to be able to cut the map pretty much at 2 if he continues to get this out unchecked. Good scan could go down right here. Oh, he's trying. He's trying to be really cute about the Hellions, using the debris to attack and get the splash damage out on those, but Queens are going to push that away. Cuteness aside, it's not going to be allowed to stand for now. Double Evolution Chamber coming down for Demi as he moves into the mid game. And 1-1 is on the way late for Vindicta. Let's find this interesting. Banshee's going to do a little bit of harassment, but with the speed overseers, that Banshee's not going to get a whole lot accomplished. Hellions are keeping the creep tumors in place, trying to bait them into moving out again. Baneling speed on the way as well. So really nothing too crazy here by either of our opponents. Again, playing really safe. But you know that worked for Vindicta in game number 1, so I would understand why he wants to keep it that way. It makes perfect sense. So Hellions are going to swing around the map as a Spire goes down for Demi. So we are going to see the same path walked for both of our players. The question is going to be which player decides to be just a little bit more aggressive here in the mid game. Right now it does look like Demi is gearing up for a big attack. Got a lot in the bank once again. Could do a nice big round of queens. Could do a lot of things. Units are going to kind of jockey at the front while they move down, but again, just playing really passively. Drilling Claws being researched by Vindicta, and the two are going to pass like ships in the night. Zerglings are going to come out here to the third base, and the third base is left pretty unprotected and exposed. Workers are going to need to be pulled immediately. Meanwhile, Vindicta does come up to put pressure on the fourth base. He is going to get a lot of work done. These Zerglings are going to get wedged in here at the wall and not get a whole lot accomplished. Meanwhile, Vindicta is going to be able to get the fifth base, down for Vindicta. Good tank positioning here. Going to provide a lot of protection for these Marines. And again, get aggressive. Get aggressive. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Maybe I just want more to talk about, because I'm sitting here going, oh well, you know, it could be this, it could be that. I like to talk about the here and now. But these tanks are going to unsiege and pull back all the way home. Meanwhile, Demi's going to work on continuing to solidify his 4-base economy. Not going to get too greedy with the 5th base, although he's going to try and expand back down here to move that 5th base along. Big round of drones for Demi, so he feels comfortable on his side of the map. Army supplies are pretty even, same with the upgrades, so I don't think that security is misplaced. Large number of mutalisks once again. As a small hit squad of Marines is going to come here, pick off a queen, take off, and leave. Meanwhile, another one. And here we go. Here is going to be the aggression that I am looking for. Oh, just take so many of these. Banelings. Just make them all. Just make them all into banelings. I would love that. He's going to be really, really careful, though. The Widow Mines in the natural will deal a lot of damage here. They don't have any upgrades at this point. No vehicle weapons upgrade on the way at this point. But the drops are now coming across the map, and they are going to cause just a little bit of havoc. I don't know if he's going to be able to get the cancel off on this hatchery. I think he's going to have to pick up and leave, but he does put a nice amount of damage on it. So it's going to be up on this side where, oh, these queens might actually just pick that off. +2 armor is going to finish up here from Vindicta, and that is going to provide a nice little timing for him. This tank is a little far away from home, though. Lings are going to come down here and discover that there is really nothing. The mutas are so close to picking this tank off. Zerglings are just going to kind of sacrifice themselves to the overmind. Kind of go. Not really get a whole lot out of it. Three worker kills. That's about it. And I think these mutalisks are going to be allowed to fly around unchecked, at least for now. Demi trying to take the base in the upper right-hand corner, but these Marines are not going to allow that to happen. These are going to get picked off. But that's not going to last very long. Down on the bottom left-hand side, Vindicta is going to take these Marines and try and secure here. I would love to see him continue pushing forward. He definitely has what he needs to do so. And he's got some really nice coverage here. Widow Mines are going to connect with these mutas and get a really nice shot off. I would love to see vehicle weapons be researched to provide even more damage here for our Terran opponent. Big scan goes down in the middle of the map as he tries to clear off more and more creep, but he does lose 8 workers for the trouble. So Demi getting a little bit more aggressive. I like that. I like that. This is good. This is a good thing. I think that's what kind of stalled out our last game. Both players played just a little bit too defensively, didn't get aggressive enough to really make this thrilling series. So I'd like to see this pressure continue here as a big Ling run by comes back to the 3rd base location. Meanwhile, Vindicta is going to attack here on the outside of the map, and they're just going to continue trading each other. This base is going to go down. But that's a lot of banelings. And that's a pretty decent choke for Vindicta, so Vindicta could get a really good trade here, but he's got to burrow these Widow Mines. These Widow Mines need to go down, and there they finally go. We're going to have to see how Demi does against these splits. So far, so good. Oh, lots of connections with the Widow Mines. But it also took out a big chunk of the bio forces as well. The tanks are allowed to siege, but I don't know if they're going to be allowed to survive. 25 workers goes down. Oh my gosh. The mutalisks get in on top. Demi! Demi! Demi, you've done it. Oh, he's done it. He did the thing. I'm so proud. So game number 2, going to our Zerg opponent. Good, and all of my stuff continues to work. I'm so happy. That was better. I can handle that. So in that map, we were paying attention to the wrong fight. The Mutalists and the Lings did manage to break into the front wall and caused a lot of problems for our Terran player, and it just was too much. GG is called, and we're going to go into game number 3. It looks like it's going to be on Triton LE. So Triton's going to be our next map in the pool here. It is a best of 9, so 5 wins is needed to take tonight's prize. It is going to be a 70-30 split of a $60 prize pool, so both players are going to walk away with cash tonight, but we do need your help to help get that funded. So in the chat, you can see a link for our Matcherino. Click on that link, folks. It'll take you out to our Matcherino page where you can type in the code APS 109, 109, 107, 109, 109, because this is the Alpha Pro Series 109, not 107 like I said earlier. So, be sure to click that link, and you can help support these players as they fight for glory and for $40. $40 is worth it. If someone just walked up to me, dropped $40 in my lap, I'd be a happy character. Do you know how many chicken McNuggets you can buy at McDonald's for $40? It's a lot. So, totally worth it. You could also go buy games at GameStop, or if you do buy the chicken McNuggets, you go to 24-Hour Fitness and you work it off. See how we slid that all in there? Made that look nice and clean. But here we are in game number 3 on Triton LE, spawning in the top left-hand corner. Our red Terran player, give it up for Alpha X's Vindicta. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, our blue Zerg player playing for OSC Elite. Give it up for Demi. So we are back to a big map. Once again, Triton's actually a pretty sizable map here. I do like the I like winter maps. There we go. There is my caster. My caster admission. I love winter maps. Maybe it's because I like winter. No, not Winter StarCraft. I like him too, but I like the season winter. It's cool. Computers run easier. You don't have to cool them as much. It's not hot outside, so you're not sweaty. Don't have to run air conditioning all the time. It's just nice all the way around. Where are my winter fans at? Anyone else like winter? Again, not the StarCraft streamer. You like him too, but... So we've seen that both of these players are very capable of playing very standard. I wonder who's going to pull the trigger on some cheeky little builds and aggression in this series. Only time will tell if we do get any of that. But right now at this point, we are just going to have another super standard opening. Demi going into some Zerglings. Speed. Demi apparently gets nervous anytime Vindicta comes across the map with an SCV. You know, it's totally fine. Reaper's going to get a little bit of harassment. It's a little more successful this time. Does manage to pick off one of the Zerglings. There's going to be yet another 1-1-1 for our Terran opponent. But I like this about Demi. Demi did this in game number 2, and he's doing it here in game number 3, where he's picking up that pneumatized carapace. So this is an upgrade that was actually changed in the last patch, where It used to cost 100 minerals, 100 gas. Well, it was decreased to 75.75, which does make it a little bit more economical to pick up as an upgrade early on in the game. So your overlords are going to be able to scout just a little bit quicker. You're going to be able to see silly shenanigans like, say, a battlecruiser rush. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen battlecruisers yet. Vindicta likes his battlecruisers. So I'm hoping at some point we do get to see a little bit of a battlecruiser rush. But it's going to allow his overlords just look at it, go zoom, zoom. Just zips on by. Does get a full scout off on Vindicta's base and doesn't really see anything too shocking. No tech lab on the starport this time, so it's just going to go straight into that Viking to push away that overlord. Here we go. Here we go. Vindicta gonna drop the sneaky ninja armory across the map. We are probably going to see some Hellbats. Nice little Hellbat push with a stim timing. This could be really strong. So Vindicta now needs to do a very good job of keeping hold of all of his Hellions, and the fact that one Hellion is super low puts Demi in a good position. Vindicta needs all of those Hellions to make this push happen. And what's going to make it really frustrating for Demi is he's going to scout this, and this is going to look just like a pretty standard 16 Marine stim timing. He's going to see the stim. He's going to see that a reactor is being built, but he's not going to see much of anything else. Viking over here is going to make sure that this overlord gets cleaned up, but here comes the Hellbat. Hellbat timing is pretty strong. There are Banelings here, so the Banelings can get a chance to connect. He's going to have to pull those, and the splits are phenomenal. The Banelings do a little bit of damage, but that's not going to be enough. Some more Banelings in the back line here, though, so this isn't over for Vindicta, but that's no more Banelings. The Queen Transfuse, though, is very, very strong, and Vindicta does get pushed back. Demi with a very, very good hold. Great Baneling micro, and behind this, yeah, immediately going right into double Evolution Chamber, doubles down on the Ling count, and he's sitting at 64 workers. So where Vindicta did invest a lot into making sure that that worked out well, he's not completely out of it. He did build a command center behind that push, so he's in good shape so far in that regard. Orbital command is going to come out and float out into the front base position, so Vindicta will have a third base at a pretty reasonable timing. But because of the strength of that defense, Demi's able to take a fourth base without a whole lot of effort. 1-1 is going to be started for Melee and Carapace, along with Baneling speed as well. Centrifugal hooks, if we want to use the special term. And he's going to get a macro hatch. So I think Demi's getting ready to start making a really sizable push. And I don't blame him. Oh, that was cute. Overlords here dropped a little bit of creep to delay Vindicta's orbital command just a little bit. So the bunker is going to go down, and yeah, that seems pretty necessary. I wish this army was researching something. He's got the gas, and the building's out there. Some good overlord spread's going to help with keeping eyes on the map. Widow mines are already out and in place as well. It's just going to be a little bioforce that moves across the center. Try and push back a little bit of creep. Make sure that everything is squeaky clean on his side of the map. Demi has still been allowed to creep spread. Rather uncontested for the most part. Scan goes down, and the Widow Mines do make a couple of connections, but not enough here to really make it count. One more Widow Mine can find, ooh, a very good amount of links, so that was actually very, very worth. Vindicta finally getting pay dirt that he was looking for. but it didn't deal any lethal damage to Demi. So Demi's going to be allowed to continue to expand. 34 lings in production. That's a pretty normal number. Drilling Claws on the way as well for Vindicta. As I think Demi's just at a point where he's ready to go with it. Baneling's on the way, and that's going to be a really tough choke here for our Terran player to defend. He does have a bunker with 4 Marines, so it's possible that he can defend this, but that's a lot of Banelings. I don't know if he's going to be able to defend them all. Banelings come rolling in here. A good pull off of the line. Oh, and he decides to take out the bunker. Okay, so at least he got something for his trouble. He didn't walk away completely empty-handed. But again, I would just love to see just hold the Baneling key. Just hold it down. And we're going to go into mutas again. So Mutiling Bane seems to be Demi's cup of tea here. Mutalists on the way. As Demi's continued to just put down bases, spread his creep, build more units. It's every Zerg player's dream. But this looks to be a pretty scary push. Both players, once again, pushing across the map against each other and not seeing each other in the middle. This base is going to get a cancel. And the fourth base is going to be rather open here. A lot of creep, so I don't think he wants to push too far up, especially with the Baneling count as it is. But those Widow Mines now have Drilling Claws, so they can move just a little bit quicker. Meanwhile, though, the Mutalisks and Zerglings up at the third base here are going to deal a little bit of damage. Banelings do get a nice, decent spread here. 20 workers goes down across the map, and Demi, I think, is doing a good job of handling this on both fronts. These are not helping, unfortunately. This Thor, I think, is going to survive. But at the cost of a third base and a lot of workers and a lot of units. I think those mutas could just stick around, but it's not going to overextend it. GG is called. Demi takes game number 3 in rather convincing fashion. And this is what, again, I feel like we missed in game number 1. Demi not realizing that he has really, really strong numbers and just really good compositional awareness. And in this case, the Hellbat timing did not stick, so he was able to capitalize off of that, which is great. So GG is called, and Demi currently sits up 2-1 in the series. We're gonna go to Winter's Gate. We get to have another winter map. I love it. I absolutely love it. Oh, all right. So, folks, we're going to take a short break here as we get set up for our next game. Don't go anywhere. We still got a lot of games to go. I'm going to grab a quick drink of water. We will be right back. This is the Alpha Pro Series number 109. I'm Rushy. Don't go anywhere. More games to come in just a moment. All right, and welcome back, folks. Let me make sure my mic is still going. Yes, it is. We're gonna hop into Winter's Gate here for game number 4 as we get set up, ready to rock. I need to try. I'm gonna try and do this really quick. So this is gonna probably break. Yep, this is. Done it. All right, we've done it. So I just need to get that set for later on to play as we get through our set. So I realized that I did not have that. I just let go. So actually, Demi is going to take a bathroom break. So actually, I'm going to run that commercial right now for 24-hour fitness. So once again, great sponsors and support from 24-hour fitness. We're going to run a quick commercial pimping their product, and then we'll be ready for game number 4. So guys, enjoy. We'll be right back. All right, and we are jumping in, folks. Thanks so much for sticking around. One more thing that you can do here, check out our Matcherino. Link is in the chat. Use code APS109 to help pay our players. They're playing for a $60 prize pool. Both of them will walk away with money. It's a 70-30 split. So it's definitely worth it for both of them to duke it out. Play the best plays they possibly can. Oh. Vindicta, we won't tell. We won't tell, even though everybody saw it. But here we are in Winter's Gate. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. Accidentally pulling all of his workers. This is OSC Elites. No! No, this is our Blue Terran player. For Alpha X, this is Vindicta. Guys, I'm tired. I'm so sorry. Professionalism. Pick it up. Pick it up. We're spawning in the top left-hand corner. Our Red Jerk player. Playing for OSC Elite. This is Demi. Hold it together, Rashi. Hold it together. Whew. I don't know why my score is incorrect, but we'll get that fixed. You must have not updated correctly on my StarCraft casting tool. It did. That's weird. I don't know. Well, okay. That's fine. We got her fixed now. Thank you so much for noticing that. This is, again, a best of 9, so it's going to be the first player to 5 wins that will take home the lion's share of our money tonight. As both players, once again, keep it pretty standard. Keep it pretty simple. Vindicta, knowing that Demi gets a little anxious anytime he sees a worker kind of just dancing outside of his vision. I don't think he saw. Oh yeah, I think he would have for sure. So this is the fun map that has these inhibitor zones through the center. So if you're not familiar, as the Reaper continues to harass here, there are these zones that kind of act like a time warp, in the sense that if you run a unit into this inhibitor zone, it will slow it down. I think it just slows down speed. Movement speed. I don't believe it slows down attack speed. But I've been wrong before. And what I really like about this map is that it actually has these inhibitor zones on the outskirts of the base. So this kind of provides a really interesting dynamic here with like drops or Overlord scouts, Warp Prism harass. Kind of offers a different perspective. So while it doesn't necessarily discourage it, it does make it a little more risky if you're going to drop these in. I think, is there that little path in the center? I feel like there is. So the Overlord is still able to get in. Again, doesn't discourage it, but does make it a little bit more of a committed play. We do see Hellions coming out once again. It'll be interesting to see what extension we have here. So this is actually going to be a starport building its own extension. Very, very interesting. Hellions trying to dodge on in, deal whatever damage they can, and get any scouts off. But the Reaper actually is allowed to sneak up in here, and I don't think Vindicta expected the Reaper to get that far, because he kind of forgot about it. So, not really a whole lot of scouting information. But, to be fair, there's not a whole lot to be had. Demi is just now getting his third base up and set here. Pre-built a lot of workers so that he can get in there. Ooh, but the Hellions trying to find just a little bit. They do manage to get one worker roasted, but not a whole lot else. Meanwhile, Demi is able to scout the entirety of Vindicta's base, and once again not finding a whole lot, except for the fact that we have battle cruisers. Did Demi get a chance to see that? I think he might have. Yes, he did. So, Vindicta is going to go into battle cruisers here, and the response is going to just be more queens. And I like that kind of response. He's actually going to drone behind it as well. Roaches are also going to be a dedicated response as well on the ground. So there's going to be two ways that he wants to try and handle this. He wants to take the roaches so that way he can bulldog his way into his opponent's base. But also the queens are going to be really pivotal in trying to drive the battle cruiser off. So he's doing a really nice job of keeping the Hellions out. And not allowing them to get any further damage taken care of. But Vindicta knows what's going to be devastating damage at home, so he does his due diligence. He does build a wall. Doesn't build the wall at his third. I think he really easily could have. But he chose not to. And that's a lot of Hellions. These Hellions are going to be able to roast most of these Zerglings. So the Zerglings are not going to get accomplished what he wanted to do. But meanwhile, the battlecruiser does get to jump right on in, and the queens are already in place. Yeah, I was thinking that there was a hole there. Hellions are going to come down and put pressure on the building of fourth base. I don't think that they're going to get enough accomplished. But he's going to see that roaches are now out on the field. Second battlecruiser is in the works. Yamato cannon is actually now complete. He's going to double down and go into Cyclone Hellion, which he's already got a really good position for. So I can't say that this is a bad decision by our blue Terran player. But this Overseer is just going to zoom right on through. and get a full scout off and see that 2 more factories are in production. So he's going to have to assume that there is going to be a transition into Cyclone Hellion. Meanwhile, making his own transition into Corruptors, which again, I kind of like. I mean, this is going to deal a lot of damage to the battle cruisers, which right now have gone reasonably unchecked. Queens are going to continue their onslaught. And we are really close to the second battle cruiser. Battle cruiser is going to jump any moment now. Okay, I was going to say, don't lose that. That'd make me really sad. So battle cruiser is going to get healed up. Or repaired, excuse me. Oh, that's actually really unfortunate for Vindicta, throwing away a lot of Hellions. He doesn't, I mean, he doesn't really have the resources to just toss things away. He does still want to be cost effective with everything. 2 more Hellions with tech labs on them are going to start producing cyclones at a pretty reasonable rate. But he's going to see that before he gets too far out in front of himself. Battle cruisers are going to start picking off more and more of those queens, but those corruptors are going to start coming into play. He does need to, jump that away. But another battle cruiser is going to join the fray as well. It does fly itself all the way across the map, so it has the option to leap away. More Hellions are going to sacrifice themselves for the cause, and I just don't quite understand that ploy. You really want the Hellions and the Hellbats for the Cyclones. 1-1 vehicle weapons and plating are about to finish up here. 6 drones go down. Where's our battle cruiser? Battle cruiser? Oh, dang. Look at that. It's Hellions that are doing the bulk of that damage. 3 more workers go down, and Vindicta is kind of evening the worker score here. Advanced ballistics also being researched by Vindicta. So Vindicta trying to prepare for the counter. Not really going that hard into Cyclone Hellion just yet. But it looks like Vindicta is going to try his hardest into moving further and further into the realm of Cyclone Hellion, and mixing in some Liberators, getting Smart Servos as well. Smart Servos is going to be a good choice in case he needs to quickly switch into Hellbat mode and back out of it again. But right now, Demi's kind of responding to this really well, getting into a lot of Roach Ravager. That's going to be really great in dealing with the Cyclone Hellion. Legs are going to get a pretty decent surround on a couple pieces of that army. Doesn't get the squishy underbelly of the Cyclones. The Cyclones are what he wants to shoot for, and the Corruptors are now just on the hunt. No more battle cruisers are on the way at this moment, but 3 are going to be a formidable foe. Oh, these Corruptors are going to pick up one of them, and they're actually going to dive in and get the second one. I actually really like that choice. I think he can get all 3 of them. He absolutely will. That is great trade here for Demi. Demi, I mean, ooh, this is a big push. I don't think Vindicta has what he needs to segment this off. The Cyclones are caught in the inhibitor field, so they're not going to be able to position and move as quickly as they would like, and that's the strength of those Cyclones, is to be able to kind of zip around and always be just slightly out of reach. Command Center does go down, and that's actually going to be some pretty rough damage for Vindicta. Vindicta really doesn't have a whole lot in the bank. Meanwhile, Demi sitting on 5 bases, just the 5th base just getting up now. And he's got almost 1,500 in resources in both accounts. So this is actually looking really strong. 12 Roaches on the way, 12 more Banelings being morphed in as well. And Vindicta's starting to look a little bit on the back foot here. Fortunately for Vindicta, he didn't lose the workers, so he's still able to long distance mine while this base is allowed to float out. But it is still a little bit less than he was hoping for. Lings are going to come up here and, skirt their way on in. So these workers are going to be under attack. But meanwhile, Demi's going to strike with the main force here on the southwest side of the map. Going to jump on top of this tank, and the tank immediately falls. There's one more tank sitting up at this ramp. But once again, the tank is going to just kind of be left all by himself. 13 workers going down. These Lings have gone rather uncontested so far. Cleaned up in the main, and they're now just going to get finished off here in the natural. But that's a really great pickup for Demi. Demi doing a nice job of keeping a good, healthy balance of roaches and ravagers, and the ravagers really are the scary part of the army. They can't be left by themselves. Lots of Lings. Again, really would love to see a lot of banelings on this, because the banelings will do a lot of damage to those cyclones if they're allowed to connect. Adrenal glands are really, really nice, but also we're going to start moving into broodlords as well. So we're getting into that late game power army for our Zerg player. As Vindicta's starting to feel a little bit nervous, he does drive on to creep with the bulk of this army. The Lings are going to be able to wrap around and catch a couple of these cyclones off. And that's a really nice pickup. That's going to be great as these broodlords are allowed to now push forward. The less cyclones there are, the more these broodlords are going to be able to deal for damage. And this is a nice little position that he can kind of sit and hang on to. Yeah, and this is going to be all forced back out of position. Oh, I love this positioning by Demi. Demi is going to be able to just kind of muscle his way on in here. There's not a whole lot that can deal with these broodlords, especially choked up at the top of this ramp. 19 workers, 25 workers go down. Just a potpourri of damage here for Demi. And Vindicta just doesn't have it. GG is called. Demi flexing his muscle now. I think he has realized, hey, I got this. I got this. And Demi moves into a 3-1 lead over his opponent. Once again, not quite out of it just yet. Vindicta still has a couple of games here to hang on and take care of business, but Demi does need to win 5. He needs to win 5 games to be considered the winner of our tournament this evening. Our show match, I guess, if you will. We're going to be going to Acropolis. Acropolis, Ellie. Acropolis. So we do have, at minimum, 2 more games that we will see here. And it feels pretty good. Hopefully you fine folks are enjoying what you are seeing here. If you have friends that enjoy StarCraft, get them in here. Show them the link. We have a lot of opportunities here at Afrika TV to broadcast and showcase great games for you. So if we can have a great audience full of passionate StarCraft nerds, we certainly would love to take advantage of that. So feel free. Share the link at the top, play.afrikatv.com/alpha xsc2/217256398. And that'll take them right here. You can also direct them on Twitter. We have a lot of Twitter presence, and I believe we are also out on Team Liquid. So if any of you found us from Team Liquid this evening, we're glad that you could join us. Feel free to hit us up on our social media. You can look right above my face and off this direction. You can check out our Facebook, Alpha XSC2. Hit us up on Twitter, twitter.com/Alpha XSC2. Or you can find us at Patreon and YouTube. YouTube for our video content, but Patreon also allows us to help fund more events, such as the Alpha Pro Series. We also have a Team League and varying levels of our Pro Series. So we have our Pro Series right now that benefits our team players and kind of masters, low grandmasters players. But then we also go for the big gun. We go and do our Elite Pro Series, where we get show matches with some of the best Koreans in the scene. One of the most recent ones would have been, let's see if I can pull that up here really quick. We'll get that set as we jump into game number 5 here. We'll see if my... good. We got it updated correctly this time. But we've got some really good stuff here, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. Spawning in the top left-hand corner, he's down 1-3. He's not out of it just yet, though. He's got a couple more games to hold strong and get himself back in. Give it up for Alpha X's Vindicta. And spawning in the bottom right of Acropolis. He's up 3-1. He's got 2 more games he needs to win here if he wants to take home our lion's share of $60. This is OSC Elites Demi. So let's take a look here and see what we have. Because we have our Alpha Pro Series pretty frequently. So this is show match number 109. Tomorrow, just tomorrow, at 5 a.m. Eastern, so it's going to be 4 a.m., which is about 8 hours from now, we will have our Elite show match between Classic and Innovation. That actually should be a great series. I encourage you guys to check that out. And that's going to be right here at play.africatv.com/alphaxsc2. Also tomorrow, another one of our matches is going to be BioIce versus Aquarion. So, we've got a lot of good things here. Lots of great series. We try to keep it fresh. We try to get the players that you guys care about and want to see play. So, hitting up our Patreon and supporting our Matcherino helps make that all possible. So, do click that link, matcherino.com, APS 109, if you want to keep seeing super cool content from Alpha X. Acropolis. We'll talk about a little bit more about this game and series right now. Acropolis is kind of an interesting map. It has this really interesting choke at the second base location, which makes it a little bit harder to attack in, especially if you are a Zerg player. This is a really easy wall-off location, I think, just like a couple of supply depots and a barracks, and you find yourself with a pretty sturdy wall. What it does not allow you to do is to take a really secure third. So that third base is super exposed with this ramp and then this ramp as well. So this could be a map where we could see a little bit more cheeky shenanigans happening here. However, Vindicta is just currently opting to go for a quick third command center. I kind of like it. This Marine is kind of patrolling on the top right-hand side, wanting to make sure that this Overlord does not get the scout off. Overlord speed is now done. So I don't know if there's going to be any way to keep this Overlord out of the base. Yep, and he is going to see that third CC go down. He is also going to see the starport kind of tucked off and to the left. And how's he going to respond? He's taking a third of his own. Are we going to see another battlecruiser run? The tech lab is down. There goes the fusion core. So we are going to see more battlecruisers. This is not surprising to me. What is kind of surprising to me is the third command center coming up so quick. Seems like a little bit of a unsure approach to handling his economy in this case, because it is going to delay his first battlecruiser by a little bit. But it is also going to give him some more mules. Overlord is going to scout and confirm, in fact, that there are going to be battlecruisers. At least we assume. We assume there are going to be battlecruisers. Battlecruisers? Well, he doesn't have enough resources for one just yet. So we'll see that in a moment.
Game paused.
We do have a fly flew into his mouth. Oh no. Oh god. Has that ever happened to you, champ? You're playing StarCraft and a fly flies into your mouth. Oh no.
Game resumed.
All right, so I love it. So I think as an observer, I don't think that the players can see anything I type. But as a referee, Captain Canuck is able to make all the funny jokes. So it is indeed going to be a battle cruiser with an early third command center, which I could see working. I mean, the way he did it last game wasn't quite as effective as he hoped it would be, so slight modification to give himself a little bit more of an economic advantage. I can't say I disagree with that. Good number of Hellions out on the map, but they haven't quite found any damage at this point. I kind of like this though, pulling the Queens all the way to the north side here, while this small hit squad is able to come on in. There isn't a whole lot that's going to be able to stop him from rolling on in just yet, but he's going to scout with the Overlord over here. So that's not going to be detected. It is going to go in anyway. Suddenly lots more roaches out on the field, and that's going to cause just a few more problems. Battlecruiser is currently not attacking the base, which is a poor use of Battlecruiser, especially since the Queens are all the way on the north side of Demi's encampment. So it is able to get just a little bit of work done. Yamato Cannon's going to finish up here in just a moment. I imagine he's probably going to use that to tank down one of the high energy Queens. Probably that guy right there. Or just going to fly away. The roaches have had enough. Those are going to push across the map, and this is actually going to be a really strong push, as there's not a whole lot to deal with this. He's got Hellions and he's got a handful of Marines, but that's about it. These Hellions are not going to do that good against these roaches unless they hop behind the wall. Which there they finally decide to do so. But that's going to zone off everything at the third base here. So a lot of workers are going to go down. 5 workers so far. Cyclones have already been in production. Corruptors are on the way as well. Demi's in a pretty good spot. Demi's confident with what he needs to do here to be successful. Double evolution chamber on the way. 6 more workers have gone down. And this just puts Demi in a really good spot. This puts Vindicta in a really tough spot. I think there's a lot of power in the Hellion Cyclone composition. But I don't know that he's done enough damage with the battle cruisers to make it worth his while. Corruptors are able to bully away the battle cruisers that he currently already has at his disposal. Now, I'm certain he leapt away with that. Did he not? Does he only have 1? No, he's got 2. Where's the second one? Oh, there it is. Okay. I was going to say, I could have sworn I saw it jump away. The Overlord with Nubitai's Carapace is going to be able to fly away. He's going to, yep, I think he's just going to chunk out a Corruptor and then leap away so it can get repaired. And now the real work begins, pushing back this creep spread. But that is so many creep tumors. These Queens have been putting in work. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there they are, sitting with not a whole lot to their name. He's going to pick up most of those. He's not going to get them all, though. So good on Demi, putting down just enough to make sure that he doesn't lose all of his tumors to a full scan. Another battle cruiser gets caught out in the open, does leap away. So Vindicta's done a nice job of keeping hold of all of his battle cruisers. It's just going to be a matter of making sure that they get extra value as a part of keeping them. Lots of Zerglings do go down, but do take out the front side of the army, that is the Hellions. Once the Cyclones are left by themselves, they do not survive very long, very well. Another battle cruiser does get caught out here and leaps away. The battle cruisers are pretty much rendered useless at this point by the Corruptors. The Corruptors are only going to get a little bit stronger as +1 flyer attack is on the way as well. 30 Lings in production. Demi's just going to go for the throat. He's got a 40 army supply lead. Actually, I think it's more than that. He's got a 50 army supply lead. And Demi's maxed out. So I think he's in a position where he could just roll forward and just take care of business. A couple of these Hellions are going to get smoked away. Queens are going to get into the fight as well. Ooh, but those are actually not faring as well as he hoped for. A couple of transfuses do not go down. So these Queens are actually going to get picked off. That's actually a really nice pickup for Vindicta. That's going to set back the creep spread. But once again, he is going for the surround here, and oh, this is not going to end well. These Cyclones are going to end up getting all the way surrounded. He's going to lose all of these Cyclones. Oh my gosh, that is so much. That's so much, so many resources. Ugh, to just lose to a wraparound. And Demi really didn't sacrifice a whole lot to make that happen either. Vindicta's going to continue jumping around with his battle cruisers into Thor production at this point. 2 battle cruisers still out on the map. Yeah, and now this is where things start to get dangerous for Vindicta. He's just going to start working away with these Ravagers on picking off the stationary turrets, so that way Broodlords, when they eventually get here, as Hive is on the way, can slowly work their way in and work their magic. A tank is going to be helpful, but it's not going to be the end-all, be-all. But right now, he doesn't have any any way to get high ground vision. Oh, and he's just going to take down this planetary. Oh, a couple of banelings getting really close to those workers, but the workers are going to be able to get in all the way to the base untouched. So, it does save the workers, at least for now. He's going to get really brave and try and pull them back out. Meanwhile, the Corruptors come up on the top side here and aren't quite sure what they want to do with themselves. More roaches in production as Vindicta does try to push back across the map. Vindicta was able to float out another command center to do some work up here, but that's not going to stop these Corruptors. Oh, I wish he would have committed to that. I think he would have been able to kill that off. But at least right now, he delays it, and he doesn't lose what he has. So, Demi, again, trying to play safe, trying not to overextend or overcommit what he wants to do. Battle Cruiser gets killed by Biles. That's a feels bad man for every Terran player. For me, as a Zerg player, maybe the greatest feeling in the world. Quite possibly the best thing out there. Sorry. Kind of got distracted there for just a brief second, but at least what you were looking at was super interesting, right? Not quite at all. Hellion's going to dive into the mineral line here. Actually gets 4 workers for its trouble, so that's a pretty great trade out if you ask me. Armies are still kind of collapsing against each other out in the center of the map. Vindicta continuing to put out more and more sensor towers, so that way the run-bys on the outskirts of the map are not as much of a surprise as they could be. A couple of Zerglings do pick away at some workers. I don't think it gets any more than maybe a kill at most. And that's where the game is kind of shifting into right now. Both players opting to make slightly less mobile but a little bit stronger armies, while using their faster, more mobile units to do just a little hits and runs. Vindicta going into that Thor production, also going into Ghosts as well. So it's possible that we might see some more nukes on this map. Meanwhile, Brood Lords are being morphed in as well. And we've got the potential here to watch these two go the distance once again. The thing that I like about Vindicta in this game, though, is that he is making more of a commitment to being very aggressive and keeping the pressure on. So that way he doesn't have to squeak out a 40-minute game just to get a win. Hellion run by on the top here. He's gonna be able to sneak through here and get some damage done. But he's gotta pay attention to it. Hellbats are actually gonna work on the first, which is gonna buy Demi time to get up there. But now that first nuke is going down, I think it's going to be okay. He is gonna see the nuke. It's gonna get pulled. But so it begins. Second nuke gonna go down on top of the morphing Brood Lords. I don't know that the Brood Lords are gonna be able to get out there fast enough. Oh, this is gonna get dicey. Oh, does not get the nuke off just in the last second here. So Vindicta is going to be a little bit more aggressive here. That's gonna get a lot of workers. 9 workers goes down. That's a little bit more of what Vindicta was looking for. And Vindicta is now anchoring down a little bit better supply count. That Overlord, what is it even seeing? Oh man, it's getting like great. It's getting great scouting information. Vindicta cleaning up a little bit of worker supply, just sending them across so he can make a few more units. Another Viking in production, another Cyclone in production as well. But the Ghosts are having a little bit harder time getting their way in. Demi doing a little bit nicer job of coverage with the Spore Crawlers, but this is going to be a blind spot here. Not sure that Demi's going to be able to see this in time. He's going to lose 6 or 7 workers. Yep. So Vindicta's still striking here and there. But once again, take a look at that bank. 5,000 minerals, 3,000 gas. These nukes are nice, but they really need to be just a little bit more efficient. Or they need to deal a little bit more devastating damage. But he's going to continue to nuke those outer bases as Zambales connect with a large portion of the Cyclones. Oh, a lot of the Cyclones are now really, really weak. It's hard for them to kind of dodge in and out and fight when they have so much damage on them. Here come the Brood Lords. Not a whole lot of Vikings, at least at this location. Here they all come. The Thors as well as the Vikings. So there is a lot of anti-air here. So Demi's not going to be able to push in just yet on this. At least not without a concerted attack effort coming in here. A couple of good snipes get off a couple of the units. Vikings are just going to be immediately picked off here. And that's a lot of nukes. He's going to realize that one of the nukes is out on in front of his base. So he's going to back away for now. And what are we continuing to make over here? More Brood Lords. Okay. Brood Lords are going to continue to come in here and deal some more damage. The Extractor is going to go down. So that's pretty nice. Some really nice snipes going down here as well. But Vindicta is still losing a lot of key units here. And there's still plenty of Broodlords. I think at least 10. Meanwhile, more snipes going down for Vindicta. The poles have been really strong. So while these buildings are continuing to get more and more damaged, at least he is not losing the workers. But the nukes are relentless. He's building 2 at a time. And it's just going to continue being something that he has to ultimately deal with. This hatchery is finally going to go down. And these forces are actually slowly going to get pulled back here. More and more creep tumors are killed, even though Demi's actually out in front of those. Ooh, yeah, okay. So you're going to have to be careful there. More SCVs coming across the map to free up more and more supply, so Vindicta can build more and more units. And we have reached our standstill once again. I keep looking at the clock and I go, oh my gosh. It's getting pretty late. But we got some StarCraft. Ooh, that hole was just in time. Pick up more of those workers. And another nuke. I don't think he's paying attention to it. Yeah, he's absolutely not paying attention to it. He's going to lose a lot of workers on that one. 12 workers go down. Ugh. No! Not again! Oh, Demi. Demi loses all of his corruptors. He fortunately kept on to his, oh. Yeah, he lost all the corruptors. And this is just not... This is not going to go well for him. Oh, boy. Yep, GG is called. Vindicta getting the clutch nuke. Well done. I'm just glad we saw it in time. And he gets to that point where if he uses enough nukes, he just waits to get lucky. He just drops enough of them, and eventually one of them's going to stick. So, good for him. GG. And that gets us closer to evening up the series. So we still have a minimum of 2 games left. Folks, we're going to take a short break here. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. This is the Alpha Pro Series at number 109 between Vindicta and Demi. It's currently 3-2 Demi. Still have a few more games to play. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back right after this. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. As we get set up for game number 6 here on our Alpha Pro Series number 109, we are jumping into World of Sleepers. So we've got 2 of the more interesting maps left. Oh, I gotta put it down here. So World of Sleepers is our next map for game number 6. Demi's up 3-2. Vindicta making a strong case, though. I'm proud of him. Very, very much so. Oh, boy. Folks, these kinds of events wouldn't be possible without our great sponsors, GameStop, Sector 6, and 24-Hour Fitness. We've talked about the first 2, but Sector 6 doing a great job providing us with great apparel for our players and for our fans. So if you ever want to check out our store, you can check us out on social media and find a place where you can buy Alpha X gear that's right for you. But now it's important for us to jump into game number 6 here, spawning in the bottom left. Hanging on by a thread at this point. We're certainly not out of it. On World of Sleepers is our blue Terran. Give it up for Alpha X's Vindicta. Spawning in the top right. Our red Zerg playing for OSC Elite. This is Demi. Philip asking, is it right to be a professional athlete? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Lots of different people have made great careers off of being professional athletes, professional esports athletes, professional gamers, professional streamers. I think if you do what's right for you, find a way to make a living off of it, go for it. I'm wondering if Vindicta is going to try and even the score here. Well, I mean, I imagine that's going to be the case, since he probably wants to win our amazing prize pool. The lion's share is $60. Please help us fund that, by the way, if you can. Maturino, the link in the chat. APS109 is the code you need to use to contribute a free 50 cents. So again, this is not your money. You're more than welcome to if you'd like. If you'd like to contribute your own funds, please feel free to do so. We think that would be really cool. But you can start by contributing 50 cents. Someone else's hard-earned cash. We love it. So World of Sleepers, another larger map. Kind of has interesting choices here for a third base. We've got more of those one spot mining patches to kind of block off this third. Really easy to pull someone over to use it though. Otherwise it does kind of force you to this more exposed third, which is relatively open. Only takes one worker though to knock that down. For our Terran player, it actually wouldn't take too much to do. Build the third base up in the main and just float it down. So Vindicta doing a little bit of scouting here, making sure that he knows the timing of that third base location going down. Meanwhile, Demi is going to do some scouting of his own, continuing to look around here. He's been hurt before by these battle cruiser openings, and he wants to make sure that he doesn't get jumped on once again. But it looks like it's going to be Cloak Banshee with the Viking opener first. So nothing too crazy or different. Not a lot of Zerglings in production right now, just 4 to complement the couple that he's already got. It's Just going to be enough to drive away the Hellions for now. The Reaper's going to swing all the way around, though, and get a relatively good scout. Going to see the lair coming in, as well as the lack of any follow-up tech. So the gas is going to go down. Baneling Nest is actually down at the front of the base. So nothing too incredibly different or scarier out there for either of our players. This is going to be Cloak Banshee moving across the map, and it's actually going to be a really nice tight timing. But what's going to be the response here? There is a Spore going down in the Mineral Lines. So for the most part, the vision is not going to be an issue. Vindicta is not going to be able to get a whole lot. I don't anticipate Vindicta is going to be able to get a whole lot done with this. But he is going to commit regardless. Baines is going to come on in and start working away at the front side of his base. And that's about it. It's about all she wrote at this point. Double Evolution Chamber coming down as well. And we're going to go back into kind of our same old approach that we've had every single game. Spire coming up for our Zerg player. And it's going to be Cyclone Hellion for Vindicta. Really enjoying that battle mech style. Really works for him. Vindicta's going to swing around on the top right-hand side. Trying to look for a fourth base location. Fourth base is actually located out in front, so Demi's going to take a really nice aggressive fourth base to help push that creep out even further and give him really good forward map control. Vindicta now just getting out to a third base of his own. Really nice creative wall off here at the top. Kind of like that. Lots of Zerglings incoming, as well as 1/1 melee and carapace, and +1 flyer damage as well. I think it's got to be Mutas, right? Have we seen Mutas hit the map just yet? No, but I feel like this is going to be Mutas. It's going to be back to that Mutaling Bane that Demi's really confident playing with, especially since we haven't seen any battle cruisers, so we really don't need to move into that specific corruptor play to make a difference there. Although it could just end up being corruptors if Demi sees himself just going straight into Broodlords. So the Infestation Pit is coming down, so the transition into Hive will become available really quick. Drilling Claws as well, and there we go. There are the 11 Mutas in production. So a little bit more of what these two are comfortable playing as, which is totally fine. I'll be curious to see how the Mutas square up against the Battle Mech. That is a combination I don't think we have seen thus far. It's either been lots of Roach Ravager or going into the late game competition when we've seen the Cyclones and Hellions mix into the play. So it'll be interesting to see how the Mutas fare. 7, 8 workers going down here. Oh, Hellions getting some really good harassment done, taken care of. Okay. Yeah, that was a nice little pickup there for Vindicta. Great trade. Oh, I thought that mine was going to commit. The mine is now going to commit. Oh, and picks up a ton of those Banelings. I think he got most of them. I wish those Hellions would just turn around and fight, but unfortunately they cannot get the positioning that they need. And Demi still getting a really good surround, even though he lost a lot of Banelings. And that's where the mines are going to be incredibly useful against Demi's army here. As the muses are going to have to fly around and try and heal up. More and more damage being dealt at Demi's third base location. This time there are spine crawlers in the mix along with the queen, so it's not going to be able to do just free damage. Cloak Banshee's going to come on in here and try and deal just a little bit. Doesn't quite get a queen picked off just yet. And this is where Ling Bane's going to start falling off just a little bit against these Widow Mines. Widow Mines are doing a nice bit of splash damage, trying to keep everything properly zoned. And it is going to go into the Greater Spire. So we're going to see Brood Lord. We are going to start working into that late game composition that we've seen the last couple of games. But both players nearly maxed out at this point. And I like the movement into more Roach Ravager. I think that's going to be more appropriate with what's happening here for our Zerg opponent. Liberators are going to be a scary part of the mix. I'm surprised Demi has never committed to doing any Hydras. I feel like Roach Ravager Hydra with the worker count that he has could be really good. Liberators are going to siege up at the top of this ramp here and provide a little bit of coverage for the Cyclones and the Hellions. 20 workers have gone down. Do a Ling run by. Dang. So that's actually a nice little pickup there by Demi. Increasing that worker lead by 20. That's going to be helpful. He needs to continue doing that in shades as he goes along. Ooh, loses a lot of Mutalisks, though, to just a couple of those Liberators. With Mutalisks out of the picture, there's not a whole lot that shoots up. He does have some Corruptors here. He does have 6. 6 is not going to be enough, though. 6 is easily dealt with. So Demi's going to wait for Vindicta to overcommit, but I don't think he's going to. A couple of Biles are going to come down on top of these Liberators, and one by one the Liberators slowly get picked off, but it's not going to be just enough yet. He's still got a little more work to do. So Banelight's got some really nice connections on the front side of the Cyclone and Hellion, and that actually does a lot of damage to Vindicta. Vindicta sitting down at 149 supply, kind of plummeting there. These players are keeping it pretty scrappy. Demi does have, again, a really sizable lead, and in the past he's tossed away his lead because he wasn't aggressive enough and saying, hey, I know that I'm playing really well, and I know that I have a supply lead over you. So I like Demi's approach here and being just a little bit more aggressive, kind of swinging up on the top-hand side here, going to check and see if the 5th base location, it went up north, and in fact, it did go down south. But that is going to leave the opening to the natural exposed, and this is going to be a really tight ramp for Vindicta to try and work up. I really think that the Corruptors should go puke on something, but they are feeling rather modest at this point. A lot of workers are going to go down, as well as the Lings are allowed to work inside of the natural, and this is a great zona. It hasn't quite dealt the damage I think that Demi was really hoping for, but it is kind of keeping Vindicta on edge here, as he's not quite sure where Demi wants to go with this army and with this attack. I still think these Corruptors should be puking on. Siege tanks are going to go down for their trouble. And that is going to force the Cyclone Hellion up into the natural expansion here. Oh, I wish these Corruptors would attack more and be more brave. Does get vehicle weapons +2. sniped off. It's actually a really good pickup. All right, so Demi has 2,000 in the bank of both varieties. I think it'd be super important for him to remax here, and more roaches are going to come out as well. He's got plenty of gas. So broodlords could also come out on the field as well. That is going to allow for a little bit more dedicated aggression here as we get into those broodlords and we start moving past the 15-minute mark in the series. Cyclone Hellion is going to swing around on the top-hand side here and try and deal a little bit of creep damage as it pushes Demi back towards his side of the map. But meanwhile, the roaches and ravagers are kind of collecting on the bottom side of the map, along with the broodlords. We haven't quite hit a mass of broodlords yet. Only 6 at this point. And that number might have increased. Yeah, we're actually at 11. So 11 is a lot better. Oh, Vindicta tossing away a chunk of his roach ravager and subbing in for tanks and liberators. I don't quite know how I feel about that just yet. Broodlords are going to show themselves and start moving their way forward. And that is going to begin the march that I think is going to be a little problematic here for Vindicta to deal with. Does have a lot of tanks on the ground, though. The broodlords are properly zoned out so they can't attack the tanks directly, so it's very good work by Vindicta, but this planetary fortress does go down. A lot of these workers are going to fall as well. 17, 18, 19 workers are going to eventually fall. And Demi gets a really nice position here and takes out one of the newer bases of Vindicta. Only lost 18 workers, though. Only. So he's going to be able to continue mining on the opposite side of the map. But these two factories with these two Thors are not going to be long for this world. He cancels that second one. Interesting. There. This is what I'm talking about. The large number of banelings. So I think you create lots of army value with the broodlord, but you let the banelings deal the super damage. Does manage to pick off the sensor tower, so he's not going to be able to see these banelings come rolling on in, but it does finally force out a scan. That's going to take care of that information for him. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, large number of cyclones try and get some damage done, but they're not able to get everything taken care of. Banelings are going to roll on in here, and I think they were going to try and take out the planetary fortress. Unfortunately, Demi took care of it all by himself with the broodlords and the ravagers, so he didn't have to throw all of those banelings away. It's going to be good for him in the long term here, because now he can kind of stay and put a lot of pressure on Vindicta. Vindicta a little bit unsure here, trying not to fall victim to anything too shenanigan-y. Banelings are going to push forward here. They kind of swing really wide, and I think they get the damage done that they needed to. It does open up a path to the Thors, but the Thors are dealing just so much damage that I don't think that Demi is going to be able to hold off on this, but he does have the supply behind it. 16 more roaches are in production, along with more corruptors, more vipers, just more of everything. 180 supply to 132 of Vindicta's. Vindicta's kind of hanging on by the skin of his teeth at this point. Has a lot of work to do to make sure that he can stay in this game and not just immediately lose. These corruptors are going to puke all over this command center, and they get a little bit ignored. But here comes Demi right into open tank fire. Command center does go down for Demi's trouble. So Vindicta is going to be forced to fly one of his orbital commands over to the old 5th base location. Try and get some more production ramped up here with good economy choices. And Demi's still sitting on a lot of minerals, a lot of gas, and has the supply cap to go where he needs to go. But some liberators are going to try and even out the score here. 24 workers going down. That liberator got 6. Where'd the other ones come from? Not quite certain where that other liberator was that did so much work. But Demi's sitting equal on workers and up 20 supply worth army. More Hellions are going to do run-bys here at this base, which is rather exposed, and he's not pulling. So more workers are going to go down. 15 more workers killed. Wowza. This is starting to look a little bit more dire for Demi. Demi, don't fall into this trap again. You've let Vindicta claw his way back in a couple of times here. I don't think you need to do it a 3rd time. Little Roche run-by is going to come into this base location. It's going to pick off a few workers. Pull the main army down to the south side of the map. This would have been a great opportunity. This would have been a great base to hit. But there are still 8 Thors out on the map. So I suppose not as effective as he may want that to be. But if he knows that the Thors are on the top side of the map and not down at the bottom, maybe this would be a great place to go and hit. Lings are kind of dashing around the map trying to see whatever damage they can find, and they do end up finding the Cyclones and Hellions here on the south side. Pretty decent trade. Anytime you can trade mineral unit for mineral and gas, that's pretty good investment. "22 minutes into this game and both players are maxed out." Both players actually have a pretty sizable army to speak of as well, so I know we're kind of at that dance of both players have slow, methodical, strong armies. But we're going to start moving into Vindicta's favorite part of TVZ, which is going to be the nukes. As ghosts are in production along with nuclear missiles. Continuing to run around the map, see whatever damage they can find weakness in the armor. Drones getting repurposed to different bases as well to help maintain the production. And now the Broodlords are going to finally start moving forward here a little bit, pushing the Thorbs back as far as they can go. That actually was a full-on kill on that base. That was not a cancel. I would love to see these Broodlords start attacking, because they will just get all over this base. And that base is immediately going to go down. Workers get pulled off of that base. Demi was too observant. I think he is going to swing north here. See that there is that. Oh, but the Raven is going to get a Dorito cannon off on the bulk of these Broodlords. Oh my gosh, the splash damage of the Liberators absolutely obliterated the Broodlords. GG. Oh, we're going to go to 9 games. I'm going to be up all night. This is ridiculous. GG Vindicta with the strong decision making. So Vindicta ties up the series 3-3. So that means we have at least still 2 more games on the way. We're going to take a short break here. Vindicta's requested a couple of minutes here. Big shout out to one of our major sponsors, 24 Hour Fitness. Do you frequently find yourself not going to the gym because motivation doesn't hit you until late at night when your gym is closed right after a great Alpha Pro Series event? As the name implies, all 436 locations at 24 Hour Fitness are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can go to the gym any time of the day. Access to all locations, a free fit plan, studio classes, pools, and cardio equipment are all included in your membership. It's time to get swole at 24 Hour Fitness, and we thank them so much for being a part of Alpha X and the Alpha Pro Series and all of the great offerings that we are allowed to bring to you in the StarCraft 2 community. So make sure to say thank you at bare minimum, but consider giving them a try if you are looking for a new gym to hit up. And we are going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be right back. My name is Rushy. This is the Alpha Pro Series number 109 between Demi and Vindicta. They've tied it up 3-3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks. We're going to jump right on into game number 7. This is going to be on Disco Bloodbath. Disco Bloodbath here for game number 7. Vindicta has clawed his way back. He's tied up the series 3-3. Both of our players still have 2 victories that they have to win. They want to walk home with the lion's share of our prize pool today. Spawning in the top left-hand corner, their blue Zerg, who had a run of 3 games in a row, looking to secure his 4th and bring us to match point. Give it up for OSC Elites, Demi. And spawning in the bottom right, our Red Terran from Alpha X, evening it up. Also looking for match point on this game, this is Vindicta. Going for what appears to be an early gas, and it could just be that I am super tired and not aware that so my brain just like totally stopped there. So I don't know what I'm saying. Oh, it's an early gas, but I think that's just a normal gas timing. I think I'm just sleepy, and that's okay. So it's gonna be an early Reaper here. No CC before orbital. Okay. We're just going to keep an eye on that. CC did go down eventually. But I think the Reaper is actually going to be able to get across the map just a little bit quicker than normal, which could be good for Vindicta right out of the gate. Yeah, Vindicta really kind of channeling his energy from WCS fall in Montreal. Kind of showing some really good games, and Demi also not to be messed with. Demi's been playing some really strong games here. Both players really bringing this out. We're gonna have to see who ends up taking this, but it is more than likely going to be off of the back of a couple more strong macro games. Two command centers being built at once. Ah, he started building the third before he finished the second. Interesting. So, doing just a little bit of scouting here, double checking. 3-minute mark for this hatchery has gone down, and that's pretty standard timing here for Demi. I think Demi has built his third hatchery at about the 3-minute mark. Pretty consistent. Thank you so much, folks, for hanging out, by the way. Hope you guys are enjoying the games. If you do, please consider supporting Alpha X. You can always follow us at our social media. You can also hit us up on our Twitch, twitch.tv/alphaxse2. Consider giving us a follow. Or if you really like the content, you're more than welcome to subscribe and support all of the things that happen at Alpha X. And we've been doing a lot this year. Lots of players participating in WCS circuit events, on top of various professional and amateur show matches, all for the glory of our Stotska. No, I mean all for the glory of StarCraft. Third orbital command is already out on the map, working on the economic boost here. And it's going to be a Roach Warren for Demi as it comes down the pipe. Because it is going to be another fusion core with battle cruisers. Battle cruisers. Last time we had battle cruisers, this ended very, very well for our Terran player, who's looking to continue walking away with more victories on this map. Demi does scout this, though, so he does know battle cruisers are on the way. The lair is already completed here. More and more queens are out on the map. Roaches are going to be on the way. So this could very well be just a really strong roach push timing as well for Demi, because that also worked for him in game number 4. Try and see if he can rekindle some of the magic of that initial push. Boosh. But yes, I am definitely a little sleepy. So I'm hoping that the hype of these great games will continue pushing me forward. And I know that you fine folks will also be good towards helping that. First battle cruiser is complete. It is going to leap across the map just south of the natural expansion. All the queens have been pushed off to the right-hand side, so this battle cruiser is going to go relatively unchecked for the beginning of this push. 5 workers end up going down, which is a pretty good trade, considering that this battle cruiser is just going to fly gently out of range. Yamato cannon is finished, I'm almost certain. No Yamato cannon. I could have sworn he was researching Yamato. He must have stopped it. So that's just going to mean 1 battle cruiser. So this is going to be a really quick shift into mech, but I'm wondering if that's going to happen fast enough. Demi swoops on in here with his Roach Force at the 3rd base location and starts dealing a lot of damage. And there aren't enough Cyclones out on the field nor do they have access to the mag field accelerator just yet. So the damage is going to be limited at this point. Demi's going to pull all the way back home. Doesn't want to lose anything by accident. Orbital Command was able to land just a moment before the creep started spreading on the ground. Demi has the gas. I'd love to see a whole bunch of Ravagers plopped down here. But instead, he is going to commit even harder into anti-air. So 7 Corruptors on the way. I don't think that is quite the right choice, since we've only seen the one battle cruiser. I think he's making an assumption that other battle cruisers are being clumped up somewhere for an incoming fight. Whew. Demi continues to push at the front of this third base expansion, killing off a couple more workers, forcing a little bit more of a reaction out of Vindicta. Lots more army being called out onto the field. Battlecruiser is going to continue causing some havoc over here at the fourth base location, but the Corruptors are going to come clean that up, and that is probably going to be mostly the end of the battle cruisers. Oh, is he going to get it? He does. That was actually really clever. So now the Corruptors are relatively useless supply at this point. Unless they're going to go puke on something, which they might. It'd be nice if they did. Oh, good. They are going to puke on that Orbital Command. And I don't care how many workers you surround that with. Uh-oh. You're not going to be able to out-repair the puke of a Corruptor. More and more damage is being done to the front of Vindicta's base here. But the Cyclone Hellion is actually slowly starting to whittle this away. Once the Roach shield was worked out of the mix, the Ravagers just don't have any meat to support prolonged fight. So Demi does get pushed all the way back home. We're just going to continue the march towards the mid-game. 10-minute mark is coming down here, and these Corruptors are looking for something new to puke on. I think it's going to be this planetary fortress. Only a couple of missile turrets, and they're going to just fly on by. They do not want to get attacked. That is a fair assessment. More Roaches and Ravagers being produced by Demi. As a fifth base location goes down for Demi in the top right-hand corner. Lots of Lings. Lots of Disco Bear. And lots of Roach Ravager. I'm going to swing around and try attacking this front base, but Vindicta's got a pretty good lock on the outskirts of this base. I think it would be difficult for Vindicta to try, or it's going to be difficult for Demi to try and push into Vindicta's base here. A couple of good biles do connect with some of the mech army of Vindicta, but a lot of those Cyclones continue to deal a lot of damage as well. Vindicta continues to work on the bulk of this army, continuing to double down on more and more Cyclones and Hellions and Liberators, also going into 2 Ghost Academies. Continuing to work on what has worked the best for him. More nukes. Truckers kind of get caught out all by themselves. Demi is tossing away a large portion of his army for little to no gain. Finally does get a surround on all of these Hellions here. Demi is going to be able to neutralize that threat just a little bit. Meanwhile, getting adrenal glands, +3 missile, +3 attack. Broodlords are also coming into the picture as well, but only 3. It's not a whole lot. A couple of liberators though. Immediately get spotted by the Corruptors. So these are not going to be able to do very much, if any, long-term damage. Forced a transfuse or 2. That's not too bad. These two players continue to duke it out, just doing a little dance, making a little love, getting down tonight. Oh, interesting. We're gonna see the EMP upgrade. I actually don't even know what it's called. Can't look at it. But I'm not quite sure what value that's going to bring to Vindicta's army. There are no, I mean there are queens. I guess there are queens out on the field. There's kind of a nuke in the middle of nowhere. Okay. Ooh, a large number of Banelings do connect with some of the bio and Vindicta, but pretty even trades. I don't know that Demi's going to be able to push too much further on this without losing a large chunk of his army. 32 Zerglings in production. So he does feel confident that he can push against this. But he's also not losing a whole lot economically. Demi's going to start pushing in here at the 5th base location. That's actually in relatively good shape. I don't think Demi's going to see this nuke. The workers are not going to get pulled. I think he's going to lose about 13 and 15 workers. That's a pretty sizable chunk of economy gone. Meanwhile, on the heels of that, though, Demi is trying to continue doing work on the army of Vindicta. So now it becomes a game of just our back and forth dance between our two end game armies of Zerg and Terran. We're going to see a lot more nukes coming down on the field, and the Broodlords are continuing to pile up here. What do we have for Broodlord count? We're currently at 6. We'll have 8 here in just a little bit. But another nuke is on the way. This one does get spotted. Oh. Ghost did finally get picked off, but not before the nuke was able to land. Adrenal glands is making quick work of that refinery. And we just continue to move out across the map. Both players kind of just surveying their territory, trying to see if they can find a weakness in the other player's armor. 4 or 5 Hellions do dive into this mineral line and are actually going to get an insane amount of damage done. 14, 16, basically an entire mineral line worth of workers picked off. I'm actually not even mad. I'm just impressed. Meanwhile, Vindicta does manage to get his 5th base established on the bottom side of the map. But we're looking at 2 maxed out armies once again. Now, Demi has had difficulties with his control in this scenario. losing a bulk of his air forces to a stray nuke. But he has to be careful he doesn't just toss away an army in advantage, because that could be a very easy way to tilt yourself into the last game of the series. More nukes on the way on the top side of the map. I don't know where this nuke was at. I also don't know why it stopped. I was watching this army and nothing was attacking. But he's not gonna lose his army to a nuke just yet. Gonna have to work harder than that. More tanks, more Thors, more Liberators, more of this slow, chunky army composition from both of our players. Demi kind of coming in here with a large chunk of army here, trying to just continue trading out with the large chunk of forces of Vindicta. He's still got a large amount of Cyclone and Hellion, and just trying to trade out as much as he can. It's going to be the nukes that end up doing as much as they can. 18 workers go down. Where did that happen at? Oh, it was right here. These nukes are kind of going off all at the same time, and again, this is kind of what's caught Demi in the past. First it's workers, then it's accidentally all of your broodlords one time, or corruptors the next time. We're passing the 20-minute mark, and both of our players are just kind of playing pretty passively. So, a lot of respect for each other. Nobody wants to throw away their army and accidentally lose it. But I think in Demi's case, I think Demi needs to take this opportunity to be aggressive, because this is where Demi has gotten caught a couple of times. Ooh, a couple of these queens are actually going to get picked away at. A couple of good transfusions. The last queen is not going to get picked up. That's 44 workers. Ooh, I got really nervous there for a moment. I was thinking I was going to watch a majority of a man's economy get taken away. 9 more workers do go down. But Demi's still sitting on 75 workers. Still looking at a large amount of economy. And the nukes are going to just slowly produce forward. I mean, when he's building 2 at a time, he's able to always have one building while one is launching. By the time that the launch actually takes care of itself, finds himself in a good position to start the next nuke up. And it creates a lot of chaos for the Zerg player, as he's constantly having to focus around the map, trying to figure out where that next nuke is coming. Some Zergling run-by is not as effective as Demi would hope for them to be, but Demi is starting to win a little bit of the war of attrition here. 198 to 184. The worker count for Vindicta is slowly starting to shift the landscape here. Even though Vindicta has been able to get a lot of worker kills, he's still been up 15, 16, actually 20, 25 workers. Now that's going to leverage out a little bit. 6 workers go down. And now it's just a big waiting game. We sit here and wait for these two players to decide that they want to run into each other. Demi is sitting on a pretty sizable bank in the fact that if he wanted to, he could probably lose this army and rebuild it in pretty good time. So I think it's going to be up to Demi to make this first engagement, but he is rather committal towards making that happen. Three battle cruisers on the way here for Vindicta. So actually this is kind of an interesting tech shift. Right now Vindicta's trying to do everything he can to kind of weasel this army into a corner. See if he can get it caught out. Trying to distract with SCVs and all sorts of other little tricks. Calling down Swiss time for nukes. Meanwhile, the battlecruiser count continues to climb. 5 with 2 more in production. So I think it'll be interesting to see if Vindicta can make that work. Couple more nukes going down. Not really finding anything other than creep tumors and spores. So right now the army is still relatively protected. Demi does have the better half of the map, though. I mean, just look at all the creep spread. It's killing me. Banelings are going to clean that up, but not before they kill off that base. And it just continues to be a standstill. Again, neither player really wanting to commit moving forward. Constant repositioning and just little wars of attrition. Vindicta looks like he wants to try and put some pressure up on the top side of the map. See if we can force an engagement of some kind. But Vindicta is not seeing any pushback here. Army doesn't want to move from this side of the map. How many Brood Lords does he have? 5, 10, 12, 17, 18. Unbelievable. 18 that he doesn't want to move. Vikings are just cleaning up the base here on the top right-hand side. I apologize that there's not a whole lot of commentary here. There's just not really that much happening. We're still making 4 battle cruisers at a time. So I think he is hoping to surprise Demi with the battle cruiser shift. There aren't that many corruptors. 17, which is still a sizable amount. But I feel like Demi has waited a little bit too long. So here comes the fight. Here comes the push. At least a little bit of one for now. But otherwise, not a whole lot happening. That is going to be a nuke on the better part of the army if he doesn't back all the way up, which he does back all the way up. And here come the battle cruisers. This is the surprise and delight that Vindicta has been waiting for. And here is our engagement. Once the broodlords are out of the air, they should be able to, the battle cruisers should be able to reign supreme, but that's not going to be the case here. It's just too much. Demi has enough army here to be able to hold things off and allow Vindicta to back off. And I think this is the opportunity. I think Demi needs to push forward and leverage an advantage here, lest we just continue to let Vindicta rebuild himself. I loved in the past how Demi has dived in on battle cruisers, and I think he intended on it. Instead, he's going to take the opportunity to puke all over this base. Again, all of the repairing world won't stop that from finishing. Broodlords on the bottom side of the map, continuing to deal more and more damage as well. I think these crafters are just trying to look for damage at this point. They know that those battle cruisers are somewhere. And he thought about it. He thought about just diving right on top of those battle cruisers, even with the Thors there. Didn't quite get the engagement he was looking for. 195 to 148. Vindicta's losing a lot of bases here, but he's not falling apart just yet. He's like a good burrito. He's holding strong, even under intense pressure, intense heat and conditions. Roaches are going to run by this base on the right-hand side and pick off more and more workers. And Vindicta's down to 15, 14 workers. Economy is just kind of shot. Demi's still got 5,000 in the bank of both minerals and gas. I think he can toss away his entire army and still rebuild it in the amount of time it would take for Vindicta to get across the map. So Demi's in a good position. I think just needs to make sure not to wait too long. Capitalize on this advantage. Bottom left-hand corner is being tackled at this point, so another base sufficiently puked on. Vindicta is currently running out of mining. I mean, he has no gas mining at this point, and he's down to 500 minerals. So the writing is kind of on the wall for Vindicta. Demi just has to pull the trigger. You just got to finish it off. Looks like it might be happening. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Demi. Be the hero we need. Not the one we deserve. Battle cruisers jump away into the Thors, and this is now an incredibly scary army con. I don't even know words, man. Combination? No, it's not the word I was looking for. Composition. There we go. Oh my gosh, my brain hurts. I'm so tired, guys. Can't imagine how tired our players must be. They are fighting it out for their lives. 14 more workers going down. I think this is the engagement. This is the moment. And I think there's a non-zero chance that Demi loses this. Okay, he holds on so far. A couple of those battle cruisers did go down. Lots of broodlords in production, and I think they're just far enough away that these Thors are not going to be able to pressure them. One more battle cruiser does go down. I think it's going to be close. Just even a couple of these completing, yeah, will create a lot of broodlings, and that's going to clean up a lot of these Thors. Has he done it? Has he done it? He's done it. Game 6. Game 7. Game something. Demi wins it and takes us to match point. Oh. Demi wins it and brings it to map point. But Demi is going to be in need of a quick break. So, what we're going to do is we are also going to take our break, but not before we talk about one of our sponsors in GameStop. Events like this here at Alpha X are made possible by amazing sponsors like GameStop. With their sponsorship, both you and the viewers and the players are able to have fun, exciting esports experience. These events are not the only ones GameStop are putting on, however. GameStop has been working with Match Arena to fuel the grassroots of competitive gaming by providing hundreds of amateur tournaments across dozens of titles to enable you to compete and win. Check out GameStop.com/esports to sign up for free and to play. That's really cool, and I think that GameStop definitely deserves a little bit of credit for helping put on our events here as well by contributing to Alpha X and everything that we do here. So make sure to say thank you and check out their website. Check out their stores near you for what they can offer you personally, along with professionally with us. And we are going to take a short break here, folks. Go grab some coffee. Just slap the face a little bit. Oh, that's what I got to do. I'm going to do everything I can to give you my best here in game number 8. We are on match point. Demi is within striking distance. Don't go anywhere. This is the Alpha Pro Series number 109. My name is Reshi. We will be right back right after this. All right, welcome back. I'm not going to show you my tired face. I went and got a scoop of peanut butter to try and give me some energy to push through this last little bit. We are on match point, and we are going back to Winter's Gate. So we have done all of the maps in the pool. We are now going to have 2 maps that get repeated here. Wrong race. Oh, you're gonna get to see my face. Oh, I am sleepy. So, Demi accidentally picked Terran, which I get. If I picked Terran, I'd want out too. We are going to Winter's Gate for map number 8. Waiting patiently for our new lobby. Bum ba bum bum ba dum ba ba bee ba dee dee dee. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, guys. Hopefully you have been having fun just like we have. I know it's late, I know it's tiring, but it's okay. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it together. The power of friendship. So thank you so much for working with us on this. Oh. Click that match arena link, guys. This is a great opportunity to do that. APS 109 is the code to use for our match arena. They've been working for it. Like, let's be real clear. Let's be real clear and honest. They have absolutely earned it today. So, give them the opportunity. Oh, why has it not? Oh, there it is. Okay. Sorry, I was watching the delay. The delay was a lot longer than I thought. But give these folks the opportunity to make a little extra cash, because they've been working for it hard. Guys, we need you to cheer loud, lots of energy. Here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter's Gate. Our blue Terran player from Alpha X. He needs to win out if he wants to walk home with the lion's share of prize. This is Vindicta. And spawning in the bottom right. Our Zerg player on match point, playing for OSC Elite. This is Demi. I think Guitar God was the other caster that was supposed to cast tonight. Said day. You are stuck with me, I'm afraid. So, glad to be here. Glad I could be here with you fine folks this evening as we wrap up this barn burner of a series. I don't think I've ever seen one of these pro series go this long, which I guess is great for you. You guys are the winners, getting to watch a great series unfold. But I'll tell you right now, if this goes all the way to game 9, I might just like sleep while you guys watch. We'll just put it on like an automatic. Put it on an automatic observing, and we'll just let these guys duke it out. That sounds great to me. Thanks for coming down here, 111, for our Terran player. Pneumatized Carapace also for our Zerg player. Terran music gives me strength. Something like that. Someone rush somebody. I'm like almost offended that Demi hasn't tried like, dude. Yeah, like macro's cool, but you ever just built a bunch of Zerglings? Alright, so we've got an early stim time, which seems good, man. Seems hopeful. Demi does scout it though, gets in with the Overlord and kind of scoops on by and says, peace. Meanwhile, getting his own third base, tosses down the Baneling nest. Hellions are going to park right outside of Creep and kind of zip zap, bibbidi bop, all the way in and out. Oh, he commits. Oh, he doesn't want to commit. Dude, this is one of the Hellions. Overlord continuing to do more and more scouting. It's fine. He's continuing to get value the longer that it's alive. And Stim continues to work here. But how much do we have to actually work with in Marine Wing? Really don't. You got 3 Marines? 3. 1, 2, 3. That's pretty. It's a pretty measly stimpack timing there, my friend. Not trying to call you out or anything, but so this is gonna look a little bit more bio-based. Demi, on the other hand, stepping into the lair, dropping double Evo chamber, going for his 4th base at the 5-minute mark. It's actually pretty sick. Creep spread's already getting pretty strong as well. That is one thing that Demi has done very, very well, is he has made sure that all of his creep spread is plenty and well guarded. Lots of Marines coming out here to the front. And this is actually going to be a really, really quick Marine push. Well, quick's not the right word. But it's going to come with combat shield. And that's going to make it just a little bit stronger. A couple of mines to go with that adds a little extra layer of DPS. Meanwhile, 1-1 is started. up for melee. We've got centrifugal hooks and a spire on the way. Vindicta's going to look at trying to get some damage done up here on the top side. Hellions are going to push forward and deal a little bit of damage to the queens. And mines are going to try their hardest. Ooh, actually do connect with a large clump of banelings. It was actually a really good connection. But both of the mines do get picked off. 7 mutas are on the way. So the medevacs are going to quickly become not as useful. And it just continues to be more and more bio and mine. Mine's gonna get far enough forward to take some shots. There's a little bit of friendly fire, but so far so good. I think there's just too much Zergling and Baneling here for Vindicta. So Vindicta is gonna have to back off. Now the mutas will clean up all of the mines. Vindicta's going to be forced to regroup a little bit. 5th base coming down here for Demi, on the south side of the map. As both players are playing a little more aggressive, but kind of nice and evenly balanced. Vindicta trying to keep the pressure on. Pushing on the top side of the map. Drilling Claws being researched as we speak. +1 air and +2 melee is on the way. Now +2 carapace as well. It's going to make those lings and banes just a little bit stronger. I can't remember if mines can still kill Zerglings with +1 carapace in one shot. What say you, chat? What do you know? What do you know about that? Vindicta's just kind of committed to this aggression as well. He just keeps marching his army all the way across the map. So this kind of seems to be his hill to die on, quite literally. Bio's going to push forward here and not too clumped up of a fashion. Those are a lot of Banelings. Banelings are going to kind of pour on in here. Try and do as much as they can. Some mines get some good connections. Still yet some mines on the back side of this. So Demi doesn't want to overcommit and lose too much. The more he stays on creep, the better. Vindicta's gonna push forward. And I think he's cleared just about enough here. A lot of these Banelings are going to pop here at the last second. But Vindicta just got such a strong stream. I mean, this base is finally going to go down. So the 4th base does fall. The muta's kind of hanging at the center of the map here. I think they were trying to find the rally and reinforcements and get in front of them, and they finally did. You can see that the 4th base is fully functional on its way. Meanwhile, another base does go down. Demi. This is your opportunity to win and save us from our misery. But Vindicta really wants a game number 9. He wants it. 4th base is being rebuilt for Demi as the mutas do fly across the map. Really isn't a whole lot here to defend against Muta's just one missile turret. That's about it. Scan goes down to confirm whether or not the base is being built. There is no hive on the way at this point at the 12-minute mark. So Demi is kind of tunnel visioned on our layer tech composition of just lots of Muta lists right now. He does need a lot of Ling Bane to complement this to really make this shine. So he's got to be careful as he comes in here. He knows that there are mines on the field. If he does take a mine shot when he's that clumped up, it's not going to end well. Large chunk of army down at the 4th base location, which is where the natural was so exposed. Mutalisks are going to come in again. I think they could just jump on top of those units. I don't think those Marines can stop that many Mutalisks. Lots of banelings, lots of lings running to the top side of the map. There we go, my man. My man. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, but I think you need the full force there. I don't think you're gonna. You're not gonna be able to take this on with half your army. I think you just go for it. I think you wrap around. You get the planetary. And you get the workers. Okay, well, you got 2 workers. And the planetary. So good on him. Big chunk of the army is going to come down here on the south side and pressure the 5th base location. The Mutas are going to fly in up here, and I think that's the right call. Yeah, he's building these way too late. Oh, but he does get some really nice connections while on creep. That was exactly what he needed. That's going to buy in the time he needs. Second wave of banelings are ready to go. Oh, and Vindicta's not paying attention. I think he was a little too busy paying attention to the Mutas on the top side of the map, but there's another sizable bioforce up here that's going to put pressure on the incoming 6th base. Mutas are going to try and zone out the return. Oh, I think, oh, it's so close. Oh my gosh. I just can't believe it. Neither player can just do it. Neither player can just pull the trigger. It's crazy. Got just all banelings. Whew. Sorry, folks. Don't mean to yawn into the microphone. We're just gonna have another 30-minute game here, and it's just gonna take everything I can to try and stay alive. What I'm worried about even more is that Vindicta's just gonna push him. He's gonna take it to a game though. I like this kid. He's just gonna do it. He don't care. Honey Badger don't care. Flies in with these Mutalisks. I don't care that there's 3 Thors there. Demi does get a really nice exchange here. I think he needs to continue pursuing this. There's not a whole lot back at home that's going to be able to protect us. He swings in with a lot of Lings and a lot of Banes, and he could just create himself a major lead. But this time it's Vindicta with the large gas bank. A little bit of a drop here it kind of gets pushed away for a brief amount of time. Mutas need to be careful that they don't fight a bad situation. Hive is finally done. More links, more bangs on the way. Mutas take a bad engagement, they will just all die. Ooh, and they're going to do some good work taking out some of the reactors and tech labs. Building those mines. Mines are going to be the spooky, scary part of that composition. And most of those mutas do get out alive. They are very damaged though. Lots of color. So, all Bailey. Just hold the Bailey key. Bloop. 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 Come on, help me. Nope. Not gonna happen. Wasn't meant to be. Alright, fifth base is established now for Vindicta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For Demi. So we're still in a pretty even game. Oh, hey, we got a bunch of banelings up there. Wonderful. Oh, yeah, just a couple of that. Please do it. Oh, this is a sizable army. Probably wants the banelings. I don't know. Right, he's going to be careful here. There's a lot of mines, and those mutas will fall victim very fast. Mutas come flying in here. Do pick off both of the Thors, so that's actually a great pickup. Demi just doesn't have a lot of bank though, and he's now lost yet another base. This is going to be hard to deal with up here. He does have an Ultra. Oh, chunks almost all of that damage. Oh, this is where Demi's gonna fall apart. Oh, I think Demi managed to get a good connection with banelings. Muta control is very strong, making sure that he doesn't take a big Widowmine shot to the face. I know he's wanting to continue forward with these Ultra lists, and I think it's a good choice. The Lings try a little bit of a wraparound. Now, the Mutas are just gonna go after that. I love the choice to ignore the fifth base because I don't think that's where the danger is. I think the danger is in the production here. And Demi's gonna try it. I think he's got to give it all he's got here. He's certainly got the supply lead. These Ultras are going to be hard to deal with just Marines. The Mutalists are doing a great job jumping on production. I think he's done it. I think Demi's done it. I don't think that Vindicta's going to have enough to come away from this. Lots of Lings, lots of Mutas, lots of Ultras continuing to wreak havoc. Meanwhile, there's just no pressure back here at the base of Demi. The Mutas are able to pick off the one thing that would push away the Ultras, and that was a lot of damage taken care of. But Demi hasn't officially done it yet. All of Demi's workers are on the north side of the map, apparently. So that's also interesting. Oh. lots of buildings taken care of here, and I know that Vindicta is trying his hardest to stay in this game. Rightfully so. Money is on the line. I would never expect anything less. 21 minutes into the game, you're down 40 supply. It's match point. You got to give it your all. I respect that entirely. Liberators are going to try and come in and do a little bit of damage, but the mutas are on top of it. Mostly Bioforce still, which means Banelings should still carry a lot of stock value. And there we have a few. 34 Zerglings on the way. Vindicta is slowly trying to rebuild his production. This is basically going to get canceled or just outright killed. Oh! Banelings got close, but not quite. Yeah, and this is where the real test is going to hit. Although I don't know that this is worth it. I think he's gonna. So you run in with the injured Ultra first. Injured Ultra first. Draw the Mind Fire. Oh no, wait, what are we doing? Demi. Okay, you might just have it. Jump on it. Jump on it. Bum 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 bum. Ponto, jump on it. Demi, jump on it. Alright, well this song that I'm trying to sing is not going with our awesome StarCraft 2 music. So, continuing down the path here, Demi setting up a cool 40 supply. Is able to establish more and more bases. Vindicta, however, also in the same boat. Greater Spire's on the way. So, eventually Demi sees himself transitioning out of this. I think he has enough. I think he just goes for it. I think he just needs the bulldozer. More and more Liberators flying to their inevitable doom. Scan goes down and sees the top right-hand corner base. Ghost Academy and Fusion Core going up on the bottom left-hand side. So it is possible that we will see advanced ballistics on these Liberators as Broodlords are starting to morph in. And I still, again, feel very strongly against just doing Zerglings. There's a reason that Demi is a Masters player, and I am not. Yep, here comes advanced ballistics as well. Ghosts are also on the way. Oh, big chunk of workers there. Lings just want to do a run by, which is fine. Adrenal Glands is actually going to knock out a lot of these production add-ons. Oh, they're gonna find a juicy connect. No! Boom. All right. Outlier bases are being protected with static defense, which is good. I think that's going to eliminate a lot of run-by potential for Vindicta. It's going to help Demi out in a big way. Vindicta's already been kind of doing that anyways. Lots of SimCity with his planetary fortresses. More mines, more problems. But Demi's maxed out forces are all down here. Broodlords start launching broodlings. Connect with the army. 7 more workers go down and an orbital command. A few more workers as well. The ghosts starting to get a little bit of work done. Personal cloaking will go into effect right about now. So those will be a little bit stronger. And we have reached a standstill again. And here come the nukes. Ghosts are finally going to be able to push across the map with cloaking and start tagging down nukes. Demi's not going to pull on this one, so it'll be about 13 workers gone. And that's going to be another set to go as well. It is visible, so that will get prior to more big games. Mutas are slowly working away at buildings in the base. Crossing the 30-minute mark. And this is the third 30-minute game that we've had in this series. So these players feeling really confident about their late game play. Demi being really careful about keeping vision with his army. He's got about 10 overseers with this army. Does not want to accidentally lose it to a stray nuke. So doing everything he can to keep that in grips. Oh, I think he should go for it. Leave himself an out though. Demi sitting with a really sizable bank. Vindicta still working on getting himself back up and running again. 23 drones. Where did we lose 23 drones? Must have been here? I don't even know why he would have lost 23 drones. He doesn't have a base other than this one that can fully mine, and that's actually going to become a quick reality here. Both players are starting to get mined out. This is one of the last bases. This has got a little bit. This has got some. That base still has a sizable amount. Starting to pick away at these Ghost Academies, and Ghost Academy 1 actually goes down, and that one had a nuke in it, and I don't think you get to keep the nuke if the Academy gets killed, so that's a pretty good pickup. This base is all mined out of minerals. This base has a little bit. This base has the same amount as this base. So right now, Demi is in a slightly better position. Oh no. Oh no. It was right there. Lots of snipes going down. The Brood Lords do manage to get out and away. Demi manages to hang on for now. A few more snipes going down as well. More snipes. Demi fortunately has bank just to continue rebuilding, regrouping. He's got to try and work away at these Liberators, but the Liberators are just always a little bit out of reach. Demi's decided he's going to go for it. He pushes right on in. The Brood Lords do get a little bit of work done. Can't clean up all of the Liberators. Brood Lords are not going to be able to escape at this rate. The Ghosts continue to get incredible snipes. A couple of the Liberators still staying in the game. I think the Brood Lords are going to eventually clean everything up. I think Demi has done it. Oh, he's done it. GG. Demi wins. And that show match took us 3 hours and 46 minutes. Folks, here's what I want you to do. In that chat link, find that Matcherino link. Help us out in getting these players paid for. Help them out a ton. They earned it. They earned every second of it. And I think they have already left. So, I don't know what I'm doing sticking around for. So, thank you so much, folks, for hanging out with me and making this a pleasurable experience. I hope you had a lot of fun. Feel free to check us out on all of our socials. We've got those right up above my head. My name is Rushy. You can find me at twitch.tv/RushySC. Other than that, I want to thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing evening, morning, noon, or night, wherever you are at. Take care. We will see you for our next event in just a few short hours. Good night. And go Star. Peace out, everybody.